Received an emergency transmission from Hadawi, a Havoc nuclear engineer. Patching through.
This is AC-3 facility. Reactor 2 has been sabotaged. Havoc internal forces can't handle this threat anymore. You're all I've got left.
We're running blind on intel for the AO. But this region is at high risk of a nuclear incident. Keep the following in mind. Shoot, loot, then time to scoop.
The signal is clear. Take action. It's okay here. Not too cold.
Experiment 66 is projected to conclude in T-minus 3 hours. All units submit safety risk assessments on schedule.
I've got a reading.
No hazmat suits? Raise it!
Let's make it quick.
Enjoy the bomb!
So eager to die. Excellent.
I don't know what's happening, but reactor output is still climbing. And security thinks I'm behind this. They're coming for me. GTI, move it, now!
Key verified. Access granted. Hostile signal detected. Lethal action authorized.
Damn it! Someone take control of this piece of junk!
Entering manual mode. Executing command.
Those bastards in Fusion Research won't authorize shutdown because of their experiment timeline. I know better than anyone how important this research is. Hold this position. Once I finish calibration, use that console to insert the control rods immediately. Data set. Follow me. I know somewhere the signal can get through.
Steam explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. Estimated contamination radius.
Careful! Don't fall! We're outside the signal blackout zone. Upload the data package to Skynet immediately. Encryption keys in the archive. Just send it!
Critical alert. Reactor power output has critically exceeded safety threshold. Core meltdown imminent. All personnel evacuate immediately. Priority alert. Hydrogen explosion at reactor 2. Incident level confirmed. INTS scale 7. Major accident. All personnel evacuate beyond contamination zone immediately. Estimated spread radius 3.7 kilometers. Correction, 9.2 kilometers. Correction, 24.9 kilometers. Correction, 45.3 kilometers. Correction, 79.8 kilometers.
Hi everyone, I'm William, the art director of Delta Force. As many of you may already seen, Delta Force is launching a collaboration with Rainbow Six Siege in our next season. Since launch, we've seen a lot of passion and discussion from our community around the tactical shooter gameplay. And whenever players talk about the genre, Rainbow Six Siege is one of the names that come up most often. So, we reach out to Ubisoft.
Bonjour, je suis Émilie Besson, directrice de la réalisation sur Rainbow Six Siege. Oui, Siege a toujours été défini par son gameplay tactique, le travail en équipe et aussi la variété des opérateurs que les joueurs ont appris à connaître et reconnaître au fil des années. Ces collaborations nous donnent l'occasion en fait d'amener les éléments emblématiques de Siege dans un nouvel univers tout en restant fidèle à ce qui les rend uniques.
In this collaboration, we focus on two things: operators and the Rainbow Six Siege's iconic visual legacy. We selected 3 operators pairings who share the same combat philosophy.
I'll be there you need me.
말보다는 행동이지.
Call if you need a hand.
For classic siege elements, we choose to honor Black Ice, the Drone, and the Alpha Pack.
Ce qui était essentiel pour nous de préserver dans la collaboration, c'était l'identité, l'authenticité de nos personnages. C'est ce qui les rend uniques. On a travaillé main dans la main avec l'équipe de Delta Force pour s'assurer que l'authenticité de Siege, l'identité de Siege s'intègre naturellement dans leur jeu.
Both games share a realistic art direction, and finding distinct recognition within that shared aesthetic was actually the harder challenge. We started by preserving the core silhouette and a color framework of Siege operators. Doc and Motin's iconic deep navy uniforms, Vigil's signature custom-fitted gear, these stay true. At the same time, within the finer details, we evolve in Delta Force identity. They wear patches from both teams. Motin carries Cineva's badge. Doc has medical kits at his side. To faithfully recreate Black Ice, we focused our material work on internal ice fracture patterns to capture the distinctive texture and cold, austere feel of original.
Oui, en effet, Black Ice résonne énormément avec notre communauté. C'est une cosmétique d'armes qui a énormément plu à nos joueurs. Et l'équipe de Delta Force a fait vraiment un travail incroyable pour la recréation dans leur jeu de cette cosmétique, avec un souci du détail extrêmement gratifiant.
We employed a dual-layer material system combined with subsurface scattering lighting model, using camera vectors and a depth texture to offset UV calculations. We achieved effect of refractor patterns appearing to exist deep inside ice.
Et ce qu'on a apprécié et ce qui nous a impressionné, c'est le travail de recherche de Delta Force. À quel point ils ont été soucieux du détail pour conserver nos opérateurs dans leur jeu, qui s'intègrent vraiment comme naturellement dans leur univers.
Beyond the content itself, we want as many players as possible to access and experience this collaboration. By completing in-game missions during the season, you can unlock these rewards for free. One more thing, in the new operations map, we've prepared something special for you. You will find a surprise in the maps that are meant just for you. Once the crossover goes live, go find them. Once more, onto the bridge.
Dear friends, once more.
My hands are sweating. All right. Hi, Operator. I'm Gabriel Mercier, codename N2. Since we'll be fighting side by side, allow me to properly introduce myself. As the codename suggests, my combat style leans towards cryogenic suppression. My frost launcher paired with a cryo flask can quickly force enemies into a frost state, ensuring they pose no threat to us. If enemy positions are unknown, the homing stun grenade can precisely mark them as well. Right now, I'm in the middle of a critical operation. One where failure is not an option. I hope this mission can make up for some of my past mistakes, even if just a little. Mission target zone, AZ-3, Asara's only source of nuclear power. The plant's power output is spiking abnormally. This time, I won't let it happen again. An emergency shutdown is our only chance, but the risk is extreme. We not only have to breach Havoc's heavy defenses, we have to face lethal radiation head-on. Some containers within AZ-3 have already been contaminated by radiation. You can follow distinctive sounds to locate them, but keep a close eye on your own radiation levels. Radiation is divided into 4 levels, each causing different effects. Accumulated radiation can be cleared by leaving the contaminated zone and using decon chambers or mobile decon units. During the incident, some personnel lost their access keys. We can use these keys to infiltrate the classified zones and gather intel and supplies.
Key verified. Access granted. AC3 key detected.
That's not all. Severe leaks have occurred across multiple sections of the plant. You can choose to endure radiation exposure and enter these zones for high-value supplies and rare data, or stay clear. The choice is yours. Havoc has deployed a large number of purification soldiers at AZ3. Once your position is exposed, heavy purifiers will apply debuffs like corrosion and slow movement, but attacking the weak spot on their back can neutralize them quickly. An even tougher threat comes from the relink agents. H-1000 personally leads H-47, H-800, and other agents to guard the facility. All of them connected through Skynet. They're extremely persistent. Stay on maximum alert. One final thing. If we do manage to shut down all the nuclear facilities, something unexpected might happen.
Disabling attention. All AC3 terminals disabled.
Of course, the nuclear plant has new collectibles too. Over in warfare, things are heating up. The flames of war have reached the weathered stone walls of the Colosseum. This 1,000-year-old city is sliding toward ruination. We've got new weapons. The RM-277 assault rifle excels at sustained suppressive fire, most effective from medium to long range. The SVCH marksman rifle is capable of taking down enemies in one shot at long range. There are also some bonus events coming up. Play Ole 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 to earn points and exchange them for sports-themed rewards and exclusive avatars. The Meltdown Season Pass includes various tactical supplies, including a new outfit for Tempest. The new season's Mandel bricks can yield the AKM assault rifle. Astromancy's not bad. Opening Turbricks gives you a chance at the Law of Time series collectible charms. Good luck. A new melee weapon, Elegy, the exclusive weapon of the Abyss Shark Reese. Pretty cool. Oh, and don't forget, the Rainbow Six Siege crossover is launching soon too. 3 new operator skins. Black Ice weapon skins and special collectibles. Now that's something. Covers the main updates for the Meltdown season. Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up.
Operations. It all comes down to 3 simple rules. Search, fight, extract. Search decides how much loot you walk away with. Fight. Not every encounter needs to end in a shootout. You just need to clear whatever's standing between you and your treasure. Extract. That's the magic moment that turns everything in your pack into yours to keep. 3 phases, all connected. Miss one and the whole run falls apart. Gear up before you head out. The better you're geared, the harder you hit and the more you can carry. But the more you lose if you go down. Go in cheap and dying won't sting as much, but you'll miss out on those juicy, high-value supply zones. Gear up and go big, or go light and gamble. Your call. Once you're in the match, forget everything else. Loot, loot, and loot some more. Documents on desks, arts and cabinets, bird nests by the roadside, trash cans tucked in corners early on. Grab everything you can get your hands on. Priority targets, safes, and air cargo containers. Snag 1 high-value item, and boom! You've already covered your entry cost. Now, the real question, keep pushing your luck or cash out while you're ahead. Your pack's stuffed with goodies and you're ready to extract. Then, gunfire erupts ahead. What now? Charge in, slip past unseen, or hang back and let them wear each other down before you swoop in. Just remember, die and you lose everything in your backpack except what's safely tucked away in your safe box. You choose to slip away quietly. Smart move! Your pockets are already bursting, but you can't shake that nagging sound of footsteps nearby. Even distant gunfire's enough to send your heart racing. You finally reach the extraction point. The countdown starts. Hold your nerve, don't blow it with 2 seconds left. Extracted. That weight you've been carrying the whole run finally lifts off your shoulders. Sweet relief. Then there's the ultimate wild card. You stumble on a mandel brick. This thing's worth a small fortune, but the second you pick it up, every player on the map knows exactly where you are. Everyone's coming for you. You go from treasure hunter to hunted in the blink of an eye. Your only goal now? Stay alive long enough to decode it and cash in big. Whatever path you choose, it only counts if you make it out alive. That's operations for you. Every extraction is a story worth telling. Go make yours.
For some, success is measured by bodies in bags. Maybe that's it then. But to me, it's measured in hearts that keep beating. You with me?
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. 6 powerful squads stand ready to battle for continental supremacy. Dark Entities, a force of pure firepower. Dark Entities left no room for doubt, cutting down rivals and advancing straight to the top. WLGaming Esports, driven by passion and unwavering grit. WLGaming Esports proved they belong at the peak of EMEA competition. Alliance. Conquering the grueling survival stage, they punched their ticket to the main stage, hungry for glory. Team Gotaga. Through precise strategy and sheer willpower, Team Gotaga fought their way into the finals. Genius. Rising above the chaos, Genius proved that no obstacle can stand between them and the title.
Picks up a second one immediately.
FLC Clan. Surviving the ultimate test of endurance, they take the final slot to complete EMEA's deadly lineup. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will reign supreme? Tune in live for the EMEA Finals.
Well, good morning or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Welcome into the Delta Force Rise Series Championship, baby. We're here. It's EMEA's Championship Sunday, and I am so excited to get into the action. Goj, Tiv, casting all of the action. It's been 5 weeks to get here, and we are finally here. The final 6 teams playing for the championship prize of $60,000. Tiv, how the heck are you feeling on Championship Sunday?
I'm beyond amped. I'm really curious to see how this lobby is going to play out and who's going to emerge victorious. So I couldn't imagine a better way to kick off my Sunday afternoon.
It's going to be so much fun. Before we get into all the action, we have to tell the story of how everybody got here. Let's take a look back.
WLG as they are going to be pushing forward. Beautiful sprays coming through. One down. Oh, G down to a 2-piece. And everything unfolded disruption. Oh, straight off into the
but they will get second place and the bonus points from that. But you can see our team. Sky Team thinking, why not wipe the whole team?
3 members of Team Gotaga in the same exact room. And Luna landed some of the utility. They're going to be able to flush him out. Hannah lands some of the first shots there. He picks up a second one immediately. And on the back foot of that, on 0.
Ready to get frags up onto.
And at the coding station, he wants to do just that.
All the pressure kind of being applied here over towards this top creature.
And what? Jax just lands back-to-back headshot.
If
he can stay alive, if he can just find the kill onto Easy. Easy jumps onto the coding station. Yubelier finds the shot. 1 second remaining. NBA. No! Team Alliance, they jump onto the coding station. Beat you down, send you back to the lobby. NBA in deep trouble. WLG hear the call. Test the man brick. Nobody else has the tempest. Nobody can make a steal play. They gotta win the engagement. And the engagement is going to the hand of Selin. A huge play.
Coming through, and hey, getting a line of sight, and all they're going to do is work towards the body, block, defend like their life means it. 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1. LFS, get the decode.
Lions with a great play. Easy. A huge wrap. Used
I've got chills. We gotta take a look back on how everybody got here. You saw an amazing recap there, but of course, the scores, the stat lines from the group stages. This really tells the story, doesn't it, Tiff, of WLG's rise to dominance to get second place in the last couple weeks of phenomenal performances. They find their way to second overall, and of course, Dark Entities dominated throughout the group stages. 6 total Mantle Bricks, tying for the most in the entirety of all 12 teams. These two teams have been waiting for their competition, but of course, we had our Survivor stages where the next 4 joined them.
They really did. This weekend was an absolute grueling slaughter fest, basically. When you think about our final leaderboard from Survivor Match Day 1, Alliance and Team Gotaga, it was one of the most wild series that I've seen so far in the Delta Force Rise series. It was denial of bricks, and every player that we talked to, they were like, look, everyone really iced up, played the objective, denied even people moving to claim the Mandel brick off spawn. It made for a difficult maneuver for our teams, but Alliance and Team Gotaga were able to emerge victorious, get themselves a Mandel brick. We went the distance in Game 7, but they got it done.
Well, of course, when we turned our eyes to the last chance to make it to the finals, it was the same. It was very difficult to find your way to a brick, and somehow, some way, Genius were able to clutch up back-to-back bricks, but it was on rounds 4 and 5, not rounds 2 and 4. Nobody got a brick on 2, which means Genius, the only team with a brick. It came down to tiebreakers, and look how close it was. Mantle Brick Addiction had a great group stage season. They picked up a ton of points. They were a top 5 team throughout the group stages. They just couldn't live up to their name. They couldn't get that Mantle Brick, and because of that, they lose a double tiebreaker to FLC Clan, who had 1 more kill. First squad points, then kill points is our next tiebreaker, and they lose out by 1. So NBA not joining us in the finals, but FLC secure that 1 last spot. What a wild finish to the Survivor stages. I can only expect today is going to be a lot more nail biters as well, as we can see where everybody came from, how they got here, and of course, our final 6 teams.
It's so crazy as we look towards Dark Entities, WLG, Alliance, Team Gotaga, Genius, FLC, competing for at maximum $60,000. Even just guaranteeing yourself in the finals lobby, it sends a message to everyone in the Delta Force community, but also you're taking home at minimum $10,000 for your team, and that is such a great way to kick off your competitive endeavors in the Rise series.
That's exactly right. And you saw it there, folks. We're also playing for a top 3 position because that gets you into season 2. We'll talk more about that later, though. Let's talk about the top players throughout the season. You got to remember, a couple of these teams played more than others. NBA's Skitey was a difference maker. He was the top player that didn't make it to the finals, assuredly, from a stat standpoint. Finds his way to being the top slayer throughout the course of all the games that they played. They did play the most, but still top 3 in this leaderboard and now the damage leaderboard. So a great job from Skitey, but we do have to turn our eyes to Stickinson as well, who missed the mark and wasn't able to make it to the finals. Had a great end of the season, a slow start. LFS barely missing out. But then FLC's Salawa was one of the big reasons why this FLC roster was able to sneak their way into the finals with that double tiebreaker. So he finds his way to top of 2 leaderboards as well.
It's so crazy. And as we keep on moving through, we do have Buldo here on the top of Sisters. NBA not going to be in play, but Dark Entities and FLC. How many times have we seen Siloa make a massive difference for an engagement for FLC? Only can imagine why these players are up here, considering as you're getting kills, you're also potentially extracting towards the end post Mandel Brick. You're putting up the assets. It's looking really nice. These teams, Skitey, though, not going to be in our lobby, which is so crazy to see him in so many of these prevalent top 3 rankings. So I don't know, Gosh, it's going to be a wild day.
Yeah, it's going to be a wild day, and also worth remembering that, hey, Dark Entities, they're inching their way up into the top 5 on a lot of these. They've played 2 less matches than most of these players because they didn't play through the Survivor stages. So some really fun stuff here, and excited to talk more about the players and the teams. But, folks, maybe you've missed the last 5 weeks of competition and you're just showing up for the grand finals day. Let's take a look back on how the Delta Force Rise series works.
Delta Force, 1 game, 2 regions, 1 shot at glory. This is the complete guide to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Everything you need to know, from the very first match to the last squad standing. The path is the same in both regions. It starts with the open qualifiers, open to any team that wants to compete. The best push through to the group stage, where the top 2 advance directly to the finals, bottom 2 eliminated, and the rest battle through the survivor stage to earn their spot. From the open qualifiers, 12 teams have fought their way into the season, and only 1 will lift the trophy. The group stage runs for 4 weeks, with matches every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The 12 teams are split into 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. 3 teams per group. Each broadcast day, 2 groups go head-to-head in a cross-group match. Every match is a 7-round format. 6 teams competing in the same lobby simultaneously, across up to 7 rounds on maps like Zero Dam, Brakkesh, Tide Prison, and Space City. Teams earn squad points by scoring eliminations and accumulating in-game total assets. And on brick rounds, they compete to collect and decode Mandel bricks, artifacts that decide the round winner. Decode 2 Mandel bricks in a match and the victory is locked in, no matter what round you're on. After 12 match days, the group stage standings are final. Places 1 to 2 go straight to the finals. Places 3 to 8 enter Survivor Stage Day 1. Places 9 to 10 drop into Survivor Stage Day 2. Places 11 to 12 are eliminated. The Survivor Stage is where the bracket narrows fast. Day 1 brings those 6 teams together for one 7-round match. The top 2 advance directly to the finals. Places 3 to 6 get one more shot. Day 2 mixes the 4 survivors from Day 1 with the 2 teams ranked 9th and 10th from the group stage. Again, 6 teams, one 7-round match. Top 2 go to the finals. Everyone else is out. 6 teams, 1 day, 1 lobby, 1 match. This is the finals, the ultimate showdown of the season. 2 teams earned it through the group stage. 2 more survived Day 1. The last 2 came through Day 2. Every team deserves to be there. The top 3 finishers earn an invitation to Season 2. Welcome to Delta Force Rise Series EMEA and Americas Season 1. Loot, shoot, extract.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's how it all worked leading up to today, and the same rules apply today as they have in every other match. We'll quickly go through them all in case you're tuning in for the very first time. Every player today will spawn in with 1.5 million Technic Alloy to build out their loadouts going into the first match. If you die, just like public lobbies, you lose whatever you brought in. We are playing on Season Echo, which is 1 patch behind our current season of Season Meltdown, so no N2, but you will see Morse. Of course, the name of the game today, if you want to win, is Mandel bricks. Our leaderboard is sorted by the amount of Mandel bricks you captured first, then squad points. So go get your Mandel bricks. That's the most important part. And the fastest a team could clutch up and win by getting 2 Mandel bricks is by round 4. Maps 2, 4, and beyond all have Mandel bricks. If a team captures 2, they win the match outright, and that's where we stop when we finish that round. So keep that in mind. Earliest 4, maximum is 7. We do have economy rounds, which is 1 and 3, where there's no Mandel bricks, but there's still other objectives like airdrops or just straight up getting kills. Finally, big rule is that each operator can only be used a total of 2 times, which means if you run double Nox on Tide Prison, guess what? You can't run Nox any other map. You all know the drill. On round 7, if we get there though, last place chooses the map between the 2, and everything resets from the operator standpoint. Now, they all have a 3x3 safe box, just like you use in pubs. Hopefully, you've got that unlocked. They can put their high-value gear in there. They can put ammo in there. They can put whatever they want in there to save that for later. And they've also got a 12-slot card holder so they can get around the map for free and not get stuck. But the big thing today is squad points. We've seen multiple times where tiebreakers dictate a lot. One way to get those squad points is get your money up. Best way to do that is get eliminations. Every kill is 800k Technic Alloy straight to the bank. It goes straight to your stash. So if you get a team wipe, that is 2.4 million Technic Alloy straight to the bank. A big deal. Every round, just in case you don't do well, you don't get kills, etc., you're still getting 700k just to make sure you can buy gear going into the next round. And if you decode Mandel bricks, that's another way you can get some cash. And if you don't extract multiple times in a row, there's a little bit of extra cash as well, just so you can actually still play the game and have a chance to still have a good time on the map, even if you're at a small disadvantage. So get your money up for certain. Best way to do that is go get kills. Now, looking forward, Mandel bricks are the most important thing on the map. Over and over again, we talk about this, so there's a lot of rules around them. The key ones to remember: 1, if the Mandel brick is taken from its spawn, there's a 5-minute timer starts that no matter where the brick goes, whether it exchange hands between 10 different teams or otherwise, that brick after 5 minutes goes back to its spawn. But if it gets put into a decoding station, it can never leave that decoding station. a 4-minute timer starts. If you can keep decoding it, you're in control of it for all 4 minutes, boom, you got your first brick. However, teams can steal the brick by intercepting it. They go up to the decoding station, interact with it for 2.5 seconds, and boom, now it's theirs. The timer, though, will reset to 4 minutes minus 30 seconds. And for every steal, that 30 seconds will stack. So the next steal goes to 3 minutes, the next to 2.5, and so on and so forth. The minimum timer that it can go to, though, is 90 seconds. So there's a chance the game clock will get to less than 90 seconds. Someone will steal. Boom. No one gets the brick. Now, you have to steal before the timer goes down, but one way to stop this from happening is wipe the team that is decoding the brick. If you wipe a team that is currently controlling the brick, that timer will pause, and then anybody can go for the steal whenever they would like to. So these are the main rules. Feel free to ask questions in the chat. It's Championship Sunday after all. We want you to be as invested as possible. So we will be watching chat and answering questions. But hey, it's the same rules that we've been using for the last 5 weeks. And Tiff, talk to me about squad points. This is maybe almost as important as mantle bricks.
Well, how many times, Gosh, have we seen something come down to the wire? It's an absolute tiebreaker, and it is squad points that make the difference. So here's how you basically get those. They're the sum of 2 components, your kill points and your supply points. This is why kills are so important, right? Because each kill gets you that 1 point. It's also worth some assets, which will go into those supply points, because every 2 million in total stashed assets earns 1 point. The points are rounded down, though. So if you hit like 3.8 million, you're still only going to get that 1 point that you breached for the 2 million. You won't get another point until you hit 4, 6, 8. It just keeps climbing up. Make sure that you are focusing on the squad points, because they will be a difference maker in addition to those mantle bricks. Now, of course, it is the finals, Goj, which means we've got some big money on the line. We've been hyping it up the entirety of season 1, and what our teams are essentially playing for is this massive prize pool. First place after the day for EMEA will be taking home $60,000. It will scale accordingly, with the top 3 being the large portion of that prize pool. Now, of course, 11th through 12th, we've already dictated that. Dynamic kill bonus is super cool. You'll get $50 per kill for your team to kind of add on to that. At the end of the day, also, our little cheeky MVP is going to walk away with $3,000 in their pocket. Like we said, though, some things have already been delineated and dished out. NBA finishing in 7th place, walk away with $5,000, similar to Living for Success as well in 8th. It's going to scale accordingly. Agartha, number 1, both grabbing $2,500 for their earnings in Delta Force Rise Series Season 1. And Fnatic and FPOB, who unfortunately did not qualify for the survival stages, only had that $1,000 go the way. But guys, big money on the line today. Who's going to fill out these remaining slots?
Yeah, a lot of cash, and it's cool to finally see that cash and be like, no, that's actually being distributed today. There's no more matches. This is it. The finals. We've been through 5 weeks of competition. You can see all of our match winners from every single match every week. We played every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for 5 weeks, and we find our way to Championship Sunday, the finals, the last chance for a team to step up and take the lion's share of that cash. And of course, go for top 3. Top 3 make it straight to season 2. They do not need to qualify. Season 2 around the corner very shortly. Open registration literally opens tomorrow. That's how soon things are. So getting top 3 today is a big boon, but getting first is an even bigger one at 60K plus that spot in season 2. So yet again, you can see that on the far right hand side of your screen. The top 3 today moving on. And of course, we got to talk about these teams. Let's get into the weeds. Let's talk about how dominant they have been. Talk to me about Alliance.
Look, I've been really excited. Alliance is such a powerhouse organization over on the EMEA side of things and multiple titles. So as soon as they jumped into Delta Force, they pick up a stellar roster. You do have Grind, Lynx, Easy, the 2 brothers, bro, but they have had each other's backs throughout this series. Of course, excelling in that Survivor Match Day 1. They were the first team to grab a brick and set themselves apart from the rest of the lobby, but they were 3rd in the group stage standings. However, the team at the top of group stages is the squad on your screen. 6 mantle bricks throughout group stages, one of the most fragging heavy teams, and also getting squad points. So they're just excelling in all angles of Delta Force right now for operations. Keep an eye on them today, especially Uzbishka, because that man is absolutely nasty. The gunny is crazy. He's really taking space and wins a lot of those close range engagements.
Yeah, definitely watch out for Dark Entities. They've competed on LAN before. They've continued to showcase they're one of the best teams in the game, and they won group stages. But WLG, a somewhat different story. They also made it straight to the finals through group stages, but it was a totally different path. They were really slow to kick things off in EMEA, and then the last couple weeks, they really came online. And we had some great interviews with, I call him their captain, Oko, because he was the one being in all the interviews, but this is a team effort. Watch out for Oko on the map. These guys still feel like underdogs, even though they were a top 2 team. Really excited to see all of their work pay off here on main stage. But talk to me about FLC sneaking in, getting the last slot, but don't count them out. They still got some heavy hitters on their roster.
It's kind of the story of FLC Clan at this point in time, right? You think back to the last day of group stages, they get the win, they double brick it out, they beat WLG, they beat Alliance, they beat a lot of these heavy hitting teams, but it didn't come down until the last day of Survivor stages. They're getting that double. They make sure that they hit the tiebreaker win, which is crazy. And then Genius thought they were going to do it on Survivor Match Day 1. Hannah was out there getting absolutely disgusting, fragging alongside Kilo and Chins. Things just didn't work out for them. They go in, they're like, fine, you know what it's going to take? It's going to take us focusing and playing our own game and getting 2 bricks to make it done. So congratulations to Genius. It was impeccable. Can't wait to see what you do here in the finals. But of course, we still have one more team. At least it's Team Gotaga. The fans go crazy for the French boys. Maxa, Nox, and Vlad have been exceptional. They've been in some of the most crazy games. Remember that Black Chamber decode I was telling you on Space? Yeah, 17 changes. And you know why? Because Maxa was in there as a solo making moves. Nox topping a lot of the kill leaderboards as well as Dark Entities use Bishka, but they have been crazy. We are in for such a stellar lobby today.
Yeah, so much to talk about for all of these rosters, but of course, a big shout out to Cho and Gotaga who are watching along, cheering on Team Gotaga, of course, as the team that they want to win it all, and it's certainly possible. Team Gotaga has been a joy to watch. Started hot, kind of fell off a little bit, and then worked their way back up, finished about mid-pack, and then, of course, made it to the finals through the Survivor stage. So, yeah, a lot of fun to talk about these teams. Of course, map rotation will stay the same as always, kicking it off in Zero Dam. We take a look at all of our operators. We go all the way to Morse Note in 2. Each operator can only be used twice, so it's fun to talk about the comps people bring in. But starting off in Zero Dam, an economy round, a chance to get your gunny warm. We're gonna see a Raptor on most teams, and it looks like here in EMEA, it's been a widespread of different operator comps. Only 10 of that one specific comp, which is very low considering 5 weeks of competition, but it's gonna be a Raptor on probably every single team or most of them. So watch out for Raptor as a huge difference maker operator for the teams for Intel. As we take a look at our players, I don't know, I'm sensing a little nerves, but also some resolution for the victory. Dark Entities have not played in a while. It's been 2 weeks.
I think that's the really cool part about Dark Entities and WLG. They got to sit back and watch how the Survivor stages played out on day 1, day 2, and they were hyping up their team. You saw Oko right there, big fan of Alliance, and was making sure cheering on the boys. We won Alliance in our finals lobby as well. They lock it in. I saw Kelly on the timeline hyping them up. An absolute, I don't know, everyone inside Alliance and that organization, even the fan community, is just stellar. You could say the same thing for Gotaga. It's crazy how cool it is that we have such big organizations and teams and content creators that are all kind of leading the path for Delta Force Rise Series Season 1.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a fantastic buy-in from some amazing organizations. Very early, I mean, literally the progenesis of what Delta Force Rise Series is and what Delta Force Esports is. So to see these big organizations come alongside some brand new players, some players that have 20 followers on socials because they've never been pro in anything, and they're really making a name for themselves throughout the course of this competition. So it's been fun to see that. It's been fun to see Gotaga interacting with his players that he specifically were able to pick up through his qualifiers. And so here we go, folks. It's time to kick it off. No more yapping. You know how we do things here in the Delta Force Rise series. Everything moves quick, and it's time for our first eco round. I am so excited to kick off the first round. The litmus test, how fast will we play today? But folks, just for being here, of course, you've earned some rewards. We've got an Echo Mimi spray paint that you need to type in the code to go earn as fast as humanly possible. 35 total redemptions. There it is. Type in this code on your screen to go earn this spray paint. You can redeem in-game or at the official website. The fastest 35 people to type this in will receive it. If it says invalid, you were too slow. But guess what? We got more coming up down the line. So when I start talking fast, that means you need to start typing fast, all right? Let's get into Zero Dam. Let's get into the first map. Let's see the litmus test. How fast will we play? Will it be a slow game? Will it be a fast one? Players get to decide right now.
Here we go, folks. Zero Dam, and looking at all of our spawns. Who has tier 1? Looks like it's going to be Alliance and FLC. Our Survivor Stage Warriors getting into the mix and ready to full send.
Zero Dam, let's get it. Round 1, kicking things off. WLG already finding a red. That's what I like to see. Hot hands to start off this map. WLG's finding that down in Visitor Center. As you can tell, Tiff already talked about these spawns. You can see FLC on your screen in a tier 1 spawn. Straight to admin they go. Alliance, the same. Alliance picking up the far side spawn, if you will, the western side of admin, and finding Saeed over there means, guess what? Big win. They're able to find some nice early gold gear, most likely from Saeed.
Well, that's a good way to kick some things off as we move into Zero Dam round 1. A little bit of chaos. I love that we're already highlighting some reds. You do talk about Major Substation. Genius does typically play in a lot of these spawns. I don't know what it is about Genius and always spawning over to this side, but you know what? You're going to make the absolute most of it. Of course, our operators, it's a little bit of what we were thinking, right? A ton of Raptor. Genius typically brings in a Luna, and so does Gotaga. They were doing it towards the Survivor stages. They started doing it at the end of groups, and sometimes if that's what you're more comfortable with and expending that here early on in the open terrain, love the utilization of those arrows.
For now, all eyes on admin as the first fight that could kick off. Does look like Nox and Maxa playing together currently. Just the two of them. To the bottom of that shortly. We'll tune in with Dark Entities who are on the move. From Barracks, rotating over. Dark Entities not going to take any time. No wasted time as they run over to admin to hopefully engage in a third-party fight that will inevitably kick off in the admin side. You'd see our operator comps down below. Everybody has to bring in purple and blue. I mean, I guess you could go worse than that, but max you can bring in is purple and blue. And generally, across the board, operator comps not looking anything super suspicious, nothing crazy. Team Gotaga does look like they have brought in a Luna. Investing in Luna this early. Be curious to see if that pays off for them. Going to save Raptor for later. But even more reds being pulled. Fossil, watch. Nice. All right. Well, $500,000 for FLC.
A little boosted Zero Dam experience for, you know, the Delta Force finals. Kind of crazy to witness that. But all right, cool. Actually, I was looking for some like interesting picks. I don't necessarily think a Nox is interesting on Zero Dam because it's either Zero Dam or it's a double Nox on Tide Prison. Blinder coming in makes a heck of a lot of sense. Shepherd, though, for easy. Making sure that you have Raptor is of utmost importance, especially if you're getting, you know, your cameras up in the sky, and make sure that you can mark them, as well as if you do have to open up a fight, you can deploy that EMP grenade. But of course, on Zero Dam, we don't typically see fights break out super crazy quickly. But for Survivor Match Day 2, really proved to be different. Teams were getting wiped within 5 minutes of being on the map. I don't expect finals to run that risk, but we'll see how it goes, especially when that first airdrop starts to come down.
Yeah, I mean, a quick glance across, a couple things. One, we do see Kotaga's back up to a full team of 3, so nice job there. No worries. And then the other side, what we see is, again, Alliance have found that gold gear. You're like, wait, you said purples only. Yeah, found gold armor from Saeed. They picked it up in admin. There's a bunch of teams up at admin. See FLC here, of course, trying to get a read on Dark Entities rotating across through shipping containers. Here's a look at them. But look at the minimap. That symbol on their screen there, just outside the shipping containers, is our first airdrop. You might be saying, okay, what's in the airdrop, Coach? Well, if you haven't been watching for 5 weeks, guess what? An or an M82, aka high caliber sniper rifles, baby. And especially on Zero Dam, that's going to one-shot everybody. So, you know, red ammo, tier 6, it just obliterates people in purple. So it's going to be really, really strong, potentially on this map or in the next one. You can wait and use it in the Mantle Brick round if you can get out with it. Fantastic. That would be a huge win. We'll see who gets it.
I don't know. Sometimes when that airdrop does deploy right there, mostly people will stare at it because it's in such a dangerous situation, even with smokes, to push out and try to go for it. But we'll see how that goes. Admin, there's always going to be multiple teams that are moving up into this area. You can see through kind of the X-ray vision that you've got Genius up into the mix. And as we have Team Gotaga rotating in from the south side of Zero Dam, they're making their presence known, right? We have to comb through Barracks and move in on the west side. WLG, on the other hand, still at Visitor Center, a long rotation. Wouldn't expect to see them up north until they potentially want to go for elevator extract. They'll grab that lever and then move north, but that's not going to be until later.
A lot of teams around admin, but no fight is kicked off yet. Hardly a bullet has been fired. All we care about is trying to get some intel. And a lot of teams gathering that intel right now by using their utility to do so. Genius also bringing in a Luna. FLC peeking over the top of the airdrop, trying to punish anybody that goes for it. Patience.
All right, Gotaga here, inching ever so close to the airdrop that you can see Dark Entities is basically camped on, setting up a trap, maybe a quick, easy fight if they can make it happen, especially with Uzbishka here on the D-Wolf, ult in the back pocket should he need to expend it. But honestly, now that the team inside knows that he's here, FLC, guarding windows, don't necessarily think Gotaga is going to move for that. They're not going to get that trap.
A couple of shots have been fired back and forth across shipping containers just to prevent Dark Entities from going for it. Maybe trying to smoke it. Maybe trying to bait out some util first if they can. So Lava gets knocked here. You know what Dark Entities is going to do. To knock him will require quite a few bullets straight to the face on a air too long of a peak. Or some pressure inside. Kobe may have to call Salawa back to help him out, as Genius are creeping that direction. So everything waiting to get kicked off. A slow start here on Zero Dam. All the teams know how difficult this can be. And after the bait out of some utility, it looks like Dark Entities is going to go for it. This is going to be the Lapua ammo in hand. Thing hits like a dang truck and could open things up here on Zero Dam. Great job from Dark Entities to just go for it. And they're going to be able to get it no problem.
And that's so crazy because FLC does have the windows, but only so much you can do through the smoke, and the damage incoming does enough to force Silhouette back out of the window peak. Heal back to full. And honestly, if Dark Entities in North have the that's scary, honestly.
Especially with Alliance, Genius all creeping up into admin. A huge 3 or 4 team fight is waiting to break out. If FLC hears shots inside of admin, they're going to come running this direction to try to get a piece of it. Genius slow creeping upstairs. Alliance still bottom. You hear them up on top of them. Easy intel here. Easy reads so far. Everybody's slow walking.
Kind of respectable. We've seen a couple of players get caught out in this area. But back to Folare, who's going to be the player from Dark Entities that operates the and window checking. The issue with that is, even if you grab a knock inside, it's probably going to open up the fight for admin. It's not going to allow you to close that gap and get in there before someone has already stuck the res. Unless you can throw some nades in there and find the fools that way, it will be incredibly difficult, but it's going to be nice for holding space and opening engagements towards that end game. But here goes Gotaga.
Slow creeping in. They're going to be on the bottom floor as well on the west side. You see Dark Entities starting to make a rotation. They're going to come this direction as well. We see, I mean, from this map feed, all 6 teams on the north side of the map, 5 of which are essentially an admin. You can call it 4 inside the admin building itself. DE almost there. WLG electing to play a little bit slower than the others, playing from Ridge with a great Overwatch position so that they can peek over the top, get intel, and of course, lace anybody that leaves the building if they were to go that direction towards parkour. So a lot still on the line, but Team Gotaga, classic crouch walk, hoping to catch FLC unaware. FLC have got some intel, but do they know exactly where Team Gotaga is? Yes.
100%. If there's one person that's going to know, it's going to be Siloa. He is sitting here ready, holding the angle. And honestly, if you're Gotaga, what do you send in first in terms of your util wise? If you're going to throw a dart in there, it's just going to give away the fact that you're looking to crouch walk. You've been going so far, but honestly, they're not even going to get the chance to do so. FLC Clan will invest some resources to push Gotaga back away from the stairs and into the open arms of a potential flank play here from Dark Entities.
Yeah, I like this wrap. Dark Entities now know that they're the last back, if you will, on the west side. Being last back, it's going to allow you to just play one direction currently. They're going to have the intel from Raptor to make sure that's the case, but could potentially open things up here with that shot. Now, we also see that WLG do pick up some intel that Genius have left. Genius not comfortable with their position in admin, wanting to play for something else. Probably going to go play, actually, from... Oh, shots going down. This is a bold choice. Selen going to reveal location with a weapon that, frankly, from this distance, really not going to do a whole lot. A little bit of a pea shooter, but maybe just trying to get him scared about getting shot. Looks like Genius have elected to go for the second airdrop and try their hand at some luck. So far, okay. They do find a graphics card, not too bad, and a couple golds. Trying to make this eco round worth it. We're in the first 11 minutes. Nobody's fallen.
Well, it put them up over 3 million. And I was talking about WLG from Visitor Center on the start. Instead, you're right. They went up so far north to play Overwatch before committing into anything. But now that we've hit the 7-minute mark on the map, 2/3 the way approaching this, and not a single team has been wiped. When we were talking to players before the finals goes, we were like, what do you think the pace of these lobbies is going to be? And they were like, it's going to be a combination of group stage and also the slow steadiness of that survivor match. So I wouldn't imagine that we're seeing fights break out until the very end.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's super warm necessarily in a tournament map like this. Nobody's ready to just full send. It's a risky play at the very least, and everybody trying to mitigate whatever risk they can. Genius, having found 3 million plus on the map, not a bad map for them. Of course, you'd like kills. Every kill is 800K, folks. So again, if you're just tuning in, maybe just for the finals here, 3.3 million sounds like a ton to you. And I frankly, it is not bad. They've done a pretty good job of looting. And I think Genius are going to be okay with this. They're going to go to the south extraction, probably buy their way out of the map and leave that direction. But if you just get 3 kills, that's 2.4 million straight to the bank. Plus, they're each kill points. So it's 3 points plus 2.4 million on top of that, which rounds down to 2, which is a supply point. That's 4 points. This 3 million without any kills is 1 single point. So you can see the difference that kills make in that comparison. Genius, at the very least, go down here, buy the extraction, but do not take it. They don't have to take it with 5 minutes still on the clock. Let's wrap around, see what else we can find, and then come back to it if we need to. Do a quick listen in here with Alliance.
Links, komm schon mal mit mir runter zur ersten Tür unten.
Okay. Würdest du oder soll ich so vor?
Einfach so vor. Lier einfach und jiggle alles weg die ganze Zeit. Oder warte, ich würde die einmal. Okay, das ist sonst zu frech, glaube ich, wenn ich das jetzt mache. Also, finde ich, dass du einfach verfischt ist.
All right. If as per the usual, I'm not bilingual, but calm comms sound good. Relay of intel and trying to figure out, hey, do we want to get out? Do we want to play for kills?
Yeah, honestly, the best thing that we get from them is they're in a good space. They're communicating, they're coming up with their plans and trying to figure out exactly how they want to approach it. If Genius on the south side has already purchased that extract, maybe they kind of dive up here for a couple of minutes, look for some potential to grab kills. But now you see the lever has officially been pulled for the elevator extract in the north, and teams are on the move. Alliance making the first move towards them with Lynx and Grind going up north. Easy, bringing up the rear, and Dark Entities instead rotates out, finds members of Genius, and 2 of them are down.
First blood goes to the team at the top. Genius not excited about that one. They go running for the hills. They're going to head south and run far, far away from a Dark Entities team that just cracked the boomstick. When you hear that fire, I'm running away too. The shot didn't land, but the team was able to clean it up regardless. Some big LMGs in hands. These guys can take some long-range fights rather than the close-range ones and still hit like a truck, even with blue ammo. Great job from Dark Entities to at least find a kill on the map thus far, but 3.5 minutes on the clock. Team's got to decide, do we want to get out? Do we want to play for these eliminations? Now, a quick look. Look up by the mini-map, folks. You can hear the signal of the damn extract. The elevator is up. And there's about a 25-second difference between this extraction and the game clock. This is going to be one of the few chances to get out of the map. And Alliance have control of it entirely. 2 inside, 1 left inside of admin to play spoiler and maybe shoot some folks in the back that rotate to try to contest his teammates. We'll see what happens.
Still some pressure here inside of admin. When you think about that Genius engagement, we lose out on Hannah, the Luna, right? So that's not necessarily what Genius is looking forward to. They lose their recon operator. Hannah's been known to absolutely frag out and has pushed them over towards the east side, potentially entering into admin. FLC, one of the furthest teams to the north. You've got to keep tabs on Easy, who's going to be fighting out here looking for engagements. But here it is. WLG pushes out. We asked, where did Kilo and Chins go? And WLG has found them.
Genius able to at least get a blood of their own. Need to get a confirm here for it to count for anything, though. WLG moving up to support their boy who's down. One on red timer, the other two on their feet, and Genius pretty weak from a distance. Still looking for the confirm. It looks like Kilo's going to push up. Try to hop this and get it. He gets it. Nice play through the smoke. That's a kill point to Genius after losing one of theirs. It's nice to get one back, but Dark Entity is going to be right on their back. Third partying this fight out in the open. Genius is just a matter of time. It's a ticking time bomb that's about to kick off. Genius caught between a rock and a hard place, quite literally, as we'll see what WLG can do from the far side.
Also equally worried, especially with Dark Entities having rotated in for this fight. They're looking for engagements, and Izbishka is going to find another player onto Genius. What does this open the door for? Hey, Alliance rotating out from the elevator extract also wants a piece of this. We talk about being the third party and up third partiers, but you take an EMP to the face. It forces you back for the time being, and now WLG is down to a solo.
Alliance, great push. They were playing for the extract, but nobody came to them. They want kills rather than getting out of the map. Unfortunately, they're going to get killed in kind. WLG, Scooby, last alive, able to grab one and get the confirm. That's a big move from Scooby to find something on the map when everything's gone wrong. They were playing patient, and now, unfortunately, they're getting pressed. Here comes Dark Entities. They picked up Genius. They pick up WLG. Two teams full wiped, and Dark Entities want more. They know they're not getting out. Might as well use this sniper, and Alliance going to have to back off here, or peek and die. Shot, can it land? No, misses to the right. Gonna have to push up here. 55 seconds on the clock.
Fuller was looking incredibly efficient with the AWM, but still not making that one work. Instead, they're chasing down Lynx by foot. Grind trying to hold the backside for Alliance if they can around the vehicle. Resources from behind, but the smokes are keeping Dark Entities covered.
Grind with a chance here from the off angle. Easy down. They know where he's at, and Triple Blaster's coming through off in the distance. You can see it bottom right. A big fight cracking out as well between Team Gotaga. But here we go. Alliance down to 1. Dark Entities pushing the equation. Flarich on 3 and looking for more. It's just Grind all by himself on this side while Team Gotaga are battling for their lives against FLC. A 2 versus 1 in the bottom right. And on main, Alliance get taken down. Dark Entities, the biggest map thus far, right at the final second. They find another kill. Great job from Dark Entities to be the top team here, but everybody catching a little bit of blood.
I mean, we're smiling about it. Dark Entities has to feel pretty good. They definitely rotated around and were pushing teams along that road on the south side of admin. Pushes Genius into WLG, who wants to get fights. And what does Dark Entities do? They run immediately down to try and get into it. And what it does is it nets them so many kills. Alliance, though, hopefully at least made the most of what they could. WLG probably not where they wanted to be. I do want to check in with what happened with Gotaga and FLC. The last I saw in my kill feed was Nox picking up some momentum on FLC, so a couple of kills their way.
Dark Entities, the top team, though. They pick up 6 kills and not a bullet fire till the final 5 minutes. A fun one to watch at the end. And at the beginning, it was this big stalemate of everybody trying to figure out what to do. But what I like about Dark Entities is they're not afraid to make plays. They make a play for the They get it through smoke. They're able to rotate around shipping containers, pop into admin and go, nah, this isn't the fight for us. Let's go outside. They get a read on a team rotating out. They find pressure there, and then they just continue that pressure, and they find their way to 2 full team wipes. That's 6 kill points. That's 4.8 million on top of that. A great map for them. Second best only had 2, but like I said, everybody got a little bit of blood. Team Gotaga did find 2 in their engagement, but even all the way down to FLC, all of them found 1 kill at minimum.
Look, at least it's something. That 1 kill gets them a kill point and 800k Technic alloy. So Alliance grabbing 2 from Grind, holding behind that car was really nice. When you think about that 0 dam, though, no one being able to get out means whatever was in your safe box and your kills are going to be the best for your assets moving into our first Mandelbrick round. But our top killers, Flaric right there, Izbishka with the damage, Flaric right behind him, and Scooby, 500 damage. My guy, WLG was trying up in the north. They were shooting weapons that should not have been shot half across zero dam, but you know what they did? They got damage.
Yeah, got some damage down, got at least 8 kills, so great job from WLG. I think this map played a bit differently than these players expected. I mean, Alliance is a case in point for that. They go play for the extraction, expecting a big fight there that they have an advantage in. Nobody shows up, so they just leave. They want the kill points. Getting out with 1 million does nothing for you. Let's go get something else on the map. Unfortunately, they kind of got trapped, and Dark Entities came out better for it. But like I said, everything came to blows, and everybody got something. And Genius's Kilo ends up with the most assets with some of the reds they were able to pull and thrown into the safe box. Great job there. In general, nobody getting out. Flarich being our MVP with 3 kills himself. Great job, Dark Entities. They were the top seed going into this one, and they're going to be at the top of the leaderboard to start it. We'll see if it continues going to script or if somebody can flip that script going into our first Mantle Break round. Tiff, what do you think about map 1? Before I get your thoughts, though, I do want to remind everybody at home, guess what? We're wrapping up Season 1 right now. Season 2 in 24 hours. Registration's open. Boom, there it is. August 10th. Get your registrations in. If you want to participate in the Delta Force Rise series, guess what? Season 2 is all going to be out through the course of the end of this year, and you can be a part of it. Open registration starts tomorrow, literally 1 day after we finish Season 1. No breaks here in the booth, but we will take a break in preparation for map number 2. It's going to be a lot of fun in Season 2. It's going to be a lot of fun in map 2. Don't go anywhere. First Mantle Break round coming up in just a moment.
The enemy got the Mantle Bricks. Find and stop them. Mantle Bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first hit to bring up the tournament. And they're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
Not going to do very much, though. You get barrel stuff. Skitey is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. So much damage, and there it is.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. 6 powerful squads stand ready to battle for continental supremacy. Dark Entities, a force of pure firepower. Dark Entities left no room for doubt, cutting down rivals and advancing straight to the top. WLGaming Esports, driven by passion and unwavering grit. WLGaming Esports proved they belong at the peak of EMEA competition. Alliance. Conquering the grueling survival stage, they punched their ticket to the main stage, hungry for glory. Team Gotaga. Through precise strategy and sheer willpower, Team Gotaga fought their way into the finals. Genius. Rising above the chaos, Genius proved that no obstacle can stand between them and the title.
Picks up a second one immediately.
FLC Clan. Surviving the ultimate test of endurance, they take the final slot to complete EMEA's deadly lineup. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will reign supreme? Tune in live for the EMEA Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series EMEA Finals. It's Championship Sunday, and the first map went about as expected. Not only did the fights take a little while to break out, but once they did, Dark Entities picked up some fantastic amount of kills. 6 total to pick up 6 kill points, plus that 4.8 million in technicality that they get from it is a solid 8-point game, plus a little extra in the safe boxes. You never know, could push them to 9. So a great map for them. Should see them at the top of the leaderboard. And Tiff, everybody else, get all the way to 10 actually. Everybody else, where do they land? Pretty even with each other.
Yeah, this is kind of scary when you start thinking about longevity in the finals and potential tiebreakers. But Dark Entities hitting double digits fresh off that 6 KP is going to be really incredible for them. Everyone else, we knew how close it was with just getting 1 or 2 kills, maybe everyone putting some skin in the game and making sure that their squad points are relatively similar. Here's the deal. That's great. Everything comes down to Brakkesh in our first Mandel Brick round. Throughout the Survivor stages, we typically haven't seen people on the EMEA side of things being able to procure a brick on Brakkesh. Will the finals be any different? Start thinking about your operator selections. We had some kind of rogue picks when it came to essentially Zero Dam, even Gotaga bringing in a Stinger. Usually you don't see that till Space City, right? But when it comes down to Brakkesh, think about Royal Museum and pretty much Area of Denial, controlling that space. What does that look like? You're gonna want Allurus, and luckily the majority of our teams have them. Raptor still being pretty, I would say important when it comes to it, but honestly, Gosh, it's been Gizmo. Gizmo has been so cool using a lot of his util package to really work inside that Royal Museum decoding station. However, we've seen some crazy things happen throughout our Survivor stages, and not everyone wants to go to the Royal Museum decode because honestly, they couldn't even get to the brick.
Yeah, I like that breakdown a lot. You might be asking, what do you mean Royal Museum? Well, here's a look at it. Look on the right-hand side of your screen, Brakkesh. Royal Museum's dead center. If you haven't tuned in or played the game a ton, that's where the Mandelbrick spawns as well, just outside of the museum in the courtyard on the south. And there's a decoding station where you're trying to take this brick, dead center of the museum. So these T1 spawns on Brakkesh are the most important tier 1 spawns in the game. They are the closest to the brick. It is easiest to get there, and it puts you in a power position to either hold and play defense around the spawn of the brick or go for it first. So a big move here. If you are able to grab T1 spawns, you got to play for brick, but I would argue everybody should play for brick. If you find yourselves in T2, well, Tower Battle's nice, some nice loot down there, but frankly, usually we see those teams maybe loot up for a second and then run up here to the north and go play for the brick as well. So Tiff, I asked the same question you just asked. Are we going to see the same type of Brakkesh where nobody gets a brick, everybody's playing defensive, or does somebody like Dark Entities who have a nice early lead come in hot, go for the brick early, and they set the pace that, hey, no, we're not going to sit here and just watch brick. We're going to play for this thing, and we're going to go for the decode.
You know, I would love to say that's 100% what's going to happen, but I really don't know. This is the first season of the Delta Force Rise series, and anything can happen when you throw a Mandel brick in. Who wants to get aggressive? We have not seen WLG and Dark Entities play in a style lobby similar to the Survivor stage, but the finals are different.
Finals are different, but one thing remains the same. We reward you for being here, folks. We got another giveaway for you. Get ready. Get your typing fingers going. We got the SR3M Combat Ready skin. It's on your screen right now. Type in this code as fast as humanly possible in-game or at the official website. If you type it in faster than the other 25 people out there that are going for it, well, way more than that, but only 25 of you are going to be winners. So congrats to those that have already grabbed their code and grabbed their skin. Hopefully you are one of the lucky few as well. 25 of you will get this code faster than the others and therefore get the skin. And if you're a bit too slow, if it says invalid, well, unfortunately, you were a hair too slow. We got more giveaways coming up, though, so you'll have another chance a little bit more down the line. Let's get into it, though. Brakkesh round 2, first Mandel Brick round. Let's see who spawns where.
All right, friends, Genius and Dark Entities are going to be having themselves the tier 1 spawn centering around Royal Museum. Alliance and Team Gotaga. Tier 2 down in the new tower. Babel, well, what do you mean Dark Entities and Genius are already checking each other with their util? Okay. Love to see it.
Pretty standard stuff here at 2 T1 spawns. They immediately rush forward. Genius has gone inside the museum, and Dark Entities are playing the outside building. This is the building that has the best spot overlooking the mana brick. Quick look at FLC. Talk about high-value loot, and FLC are pulling it from hotel. Find a 1.7 mil key card. Okay, I see you. Hot hands for FLC. A little extra value added to the books. That gets thrown into the safe box, I believe, because if you earn or if you find a key card, you can put it in the safe box. You just can't buy them and put them in your safe box. But here we go. Let's see. Dark Entities are going for it. No defense today. We're grabbing the brick. It's offense time. Full array able to grab it, smoke it, and then smoke again to make sure it gets indoors. Genius, a hair too slow on the draw. Not expecting Dark Entities to move this quick. Now the question is, where do you go with it?
Going to be really interesting. Times are definitely changing. If teams came in through the Survivor stage, you're not going to be used to the pacing that we just witnessed, that Dark Entities was able to achieve. Now, the thing about this is you do have FLC that has isolated themselves thanks to a tier 2 spawn over by the Blue River Hotel decode. WLG spaced out to encompass both Brakkesh Market decoding and Osira Camp. That's a lot of extension out in space they're trying to control. You're not going to run to Reservoir because you're going to have the teams that are still in New Tower of Babel likely to head that way if something happens. And with Genius inside of the Royal Museum, only time will tell. For now, it's all about Alliance and Gotaga.
Yeah, a bit surprising to see these 2 teams already on a bit of a standoff inside Tower of Babel. Usually a team will leave and go play for the Breck early. Both have elected to stay, which means both know that each other are here, which means they play slower. They don't want to interact with each other yet. They want to make sure they take an advantage in this fight. And currently, Alliance not feeling like they have one. They have an exit if they want it. And I think the call is coming through. Yep, we do want it. We don't want to stick and fight Gotaga. Team Gotaga is quite strong. They've got a power position. Let's leave. Let's go play for the brick. They're out of here.
Enemy spotted. Get down, soldier. See you later. Genius, on the other hand, finding some nice reds. Gotaga grabbing a graphics card of their own. Loot galore, but it's FLC with profits close to 2 mil. And with 3 minutes on the decode, not the decode, I'm apologizing, for the spawn of the Bandle brick. Still have not decided for Dark Entities in which we want to approach.
I think they might be thinking about going inside. I think they're going to play for Museum here. They pushed out and then thought better of it, thinking Genius was out in the open, which they are. Genius trying to get aggressive. Full array, looking for a play. We didn't talk too much about comps, but you can see it right there on your screen. Genius, the only team to bring in a Tempest, so they have an advantage here for some steals. And it looks like Dark Entities are going to do exactly that. They're going directly inside a museum, either using it to cut through and go to a different decoding station, or we're going to play a museum. A right turn here will tell us museum. Straightforward means we're headed up to the market, and they're going to be walking straight into at least one member of WLG. And here comes the firepower. Unfortunately, Dark Entities, you made the first move, getting punished for it. Down goes 1, down goes 2. Dark Entities in a blender, but a Uzbishka strikes back. And with Genius's help, WLG is falling as well. But Dark Entities down to 1, the other 2 on yellow. Fortune does not favor the bold this time around.
All right. Well, that is quite unfortunate. Uzbishka is going to be last alive. The best case scenario that we can have now that that brick is down and the timer is still ticking, but anyone can pick it up. But here's the deal. What do? Your players are in the open. Those reses are going to be incredibly difficult and definitely watched. And the fights aren't going to break out until someone hits the decode. Genius could move out to try and grab it. However, FLC and both WLG are watching it.
Yeah, and for Uzbishka, it's just a waiting game. FLC trying to hunt him down. 90 seconds on the clock to grab the brick off the ground and get it to a decoding station. Otherwise, it goes back to spawn. Closest team to spawn technically is still Genius, but they're playing the north side of Museum. You can see them on the minimap, just bottom right corner, barely in view. They're on the north side of Museum here. They're watching the brick. What they want to know is if anybody goes for it here, they want to be able to gun them down so it'll reset and they'll be in a pretty powerful position to get it. WLG does connect with their res. They pick up their third, and it doesn't look like Uzbishka's even credited that kill. Here's a look at the map. 60 seconds on the clock for the brick. Team Gotaga still in Royal Museum. Alliance waiting on them, trying to hold them as they leave. As FLC are just running around trying to get some intel.
All right, Silua Playing alongside this fence, frag going out. Chins on the Tempest, wants to get aggressive. Love to see that, but it doesn't matter because Siloa holding the space, holding the angle from beyond cover, denies Chins. Now, granted, if your Tempest does go down, there's a good chance to be insta-res super quickly. That's why we love Tempest, but no one able to recover and get that brick moving. It's going to respawn here in about 15 seconds. So what do? Do we focus on airdrops for FLC? 1000%.
Yeah, it's a great hold. Genius has a Tempest, which means they have a huge asset value, or sorry, a huge advantage value in going for these bricks. So they go for a play on the north side, don't get it with the Tempest ult. They can just run down where the mana brick respawns because they have control of that as well and get the brick that way. It is one way or the other. Might as well use the ult cooldown where you can get it. You do see FLC picks up the M82. That's the 50 cal ammo that they just found in that airdrop. So they push off Genius. Genius backs off for the brick. Genius gets the brick. And now we've got a fight on the other side of the map. This is the Tower of Babel fight we expected. Alliance have been waiting for Team Gotaga to leave, and they're holding them on the exit. One goes down, but this should be a quick res.
Get up, my friend. We've got a championship to get. Let's get working on it. We got to get a brick. Into Royal Museum we go, and it's going to be Genius. 4 minutes on the clock for the decode. So when you start thinking about what the defense looks like, of course, they do have an Alluru. They have a Toxic and a Tempest. Keep an eye on how they utilize that Alluru package for everyone else to lay siege into the Royal Museum. Well, you got to get there first. Alliance and Gotaga are having a personal bout down here in the south.
The bout on the south matters. But we'll keep eyes on the brick. If anybody moves for it, we'll swap over there. Currently, Genius alone in Museum. The battle on the north about to kick off, but here on the south, Team Gotaga lose one again. Grind, feeling like they have an advantage. They're pushing forward. Link's trying to barrel off their opponent. It's a push. Team Gotaga able to answer back. A great play. Maxa guns him down. A huge two-piece from Maxa. What a turn and burn. Grind now as a solo is going to have to back off from this one. What a save.
Good way to kick things off. All right. Grind. The Raptor makes it out for now, but in a very similar situation of what we found for Izbishka on Dark Entities. And as you say that, we move over. FLC still out, fresh off the airdrop. If they enter this building. Okay. They enter the building and Kobe goes down, but it's not enough. They were two on top of each other, and Izbishka, a little bit of a sigh there. Only so much you could do, but a valiant effort.
I thought he was about to line them all up. I'm not going to lie. I thought he was about to do something crazy. Dark Entities, they went for it first. They get punished for it, and unfortunately, they get cut down. Dark Entities out. They were at the top of the leaderboard. They don't get hardly anything out of this one. However, we turn our eyes to the top middle of your screen. Genius still decoding, about halfway there. Here's a look at the map feed. All those missiles landing, that's the boss. The boss is out there doing boss things. It's up in the helicopter. It's going to blow some people up, or try to. But a quick look at the map feed shows that Genius is alone in Museum. Our 4-minute timer is down to 2. Here's a look back on what Maxa was able to do just a moment ago. He gets one. He even cleans that one up. Turns, burns, wins the gunfight. Ridiculous stuff. And here on the other side, of course, Izbishka not happy about that one.
I mean, there's only so much you can do at that point in time. They filtered in right on top of each other, stacking through the stairway. For now, the second airdrop is here. High value items, typically golds. You get an occasional sprinkle of reds in, but that is going to be dealt with potentially. I don't know. For right now, 1:30 left on the decode seems a little bit more important to me. There we go. Gold's a gold farm. Okay, and a graphics card. Plenty of graphics cards to go around today. Maybe they can hand me one so I can hit a little upgrade.
Yeah, nice gold bar graphics card, and they were the team also that picked up that 1.7 million key card earlier. So look at FLC's profits. They're up to 5 mil. Pretty solid, actually. But more to play for. It looks like Genius have found an angle on a aggressive WLG who want to go play for the brick. Thank you. Playing for the brick. Genius down to 60 seconds. 3 minutes have gone. 1 minute remains. And with the action at hand, Genius is getting pushed from a couple of different angles, and they find one member of FLC, one member of WLG, and they're holding on. Genius, they got double brick in the survivor stages, and they're about to go 3 bricks in a row. Can you believe it?
I don't know if I can believe it. There's no way this is going to be such a stellar hold, but as I say that, there's only time, like, It's ticking down, and WLG, they grab Oko, they focus on hitting the reset. Who is going to be the real challenge to this? And with 18 seconds to go, Incendiaries to block out the courtyard, and Scooby down below.
10 seconds.
This is a brick. This is a free brick here in Brakkesh.
Genius. They invest the Tempest, and it pays off. A huge play. They get the first brick. Let's listen in.
Подо мной. Не нокаюсь.
У нас с той стороны музей команда, парни. Смока нет, фанак, что ли.
Давайте стянемся на ту сторону.
Звук. Я сейчас их буду ловить.
No celebration in their voices. Still more to play for. Here's the crazy part. The fact that Genius were able to get the first brick, it doesn't assure them top 3. But most likely they will be a top 3 team today. Not 100%, but very, very likely. Throughout the course of all of our matches, the amount of times that 4 teams have gotten a brick is pretty low. Definitely seen it before. We literally saw it yesterday in Americas, but it doesn't happen very often. So Genius, coming from the last chance to make it into the finals, coming from survivor stages, they make it here to the finals, and now they are in the lead going into the next map, and there's still 6 minutes on the clock. A lot more to play for the rest of the squads who desperately want points.
When you start thinking about Genius and their performance in the survivor stages, they got a brick in matches 4 and 5 on Space City back-to-back to close out that survivor match day, right? So in the last 3 Mandel brick rounds that they've played throughout our weekend, finals included, they have attained a brick every single time.
Yep, exactly. 3 in a row, technically, for them, which is really cool. And a team that had a mediocre season. They frequently had their ups and downs. They had moments of greatness and then moments where they really weren't doing great. They were about mid-pack team. They were kind of barely into the top 5. They did find their way to 6 mana bricks, though. These guys know how to get their bricks, and they're doing it here again on main stage in the finals. So great rep here from Genius.
They also had 2 match day wins. So when we're talking about them being mediocre, it's like, but they still got match day wins. They win a survivor match day. It's crazy because it's almost like they're still under the radar, but kicking things off in the finals, setting themselves apart from stalwarts in the scene that we've had, you know, really exceptional performance of through the group stages. But now they just want to get the icing on the cake. We need some kills to go alongside it, with FLC and WLG being the only teams of 3 left and 5 minutes on the clock. We've got some fighting to do.
Yeah, I think mediocre is maybe a bit of an understatement. They were a top 5 team. They were 5th, so a little bit better than mid-pack, but still had to go through survivor stages and kind of barely made it here. But they definitely have the history of winning that is scary for the rest of these rosters, especially with Genius already having a brick. So great job there, but more to play for, especially if Genius does the unthinkable and goes double brick here in rounds 2 and 4. The rest of these teams will be sorted by squad points. So these kills, these fights, they really matter. And FLC TIF have sent 1 player out, protect a bunch of that loot that they grabbed, and the rest have stayed to fight.
Pretty respectable. An alliance grind, still kind of roaming the map as a solo. Looks like he's potentially moving down towards the south. Gotaga actually goes back into the new Tower of Babel and is just looting appropriately. At this point, you're not getting a brick. You got to find enough to make sure your squad points are going up. And FLC, plenty of value here on the map. Zilloa and Kobe, though, dynamic duo, looking to get mixy.
I mean, whatever you can find here is big. Doesn't look like anybody else is going to extract, likely. Maybe Team Gotaga. I don't think they have enough dog tags for it. They could go out, send one out via the dog tag extraction, maybe, top of Tower of Babel, but I don't think... Well, actually, yeah, they could have, after their team wipe on, or 2 out of 3 of Alliance outside of Tower of Babel, they could send one out via the dog tag extraction if they'd like to. They have 2 dog tags, so they can do that. Maybe they send one out and the other 2 stay, try to play for a fight in the final 3 minutes, but it also may just be a looting game.
Moments of calm after the chaos. And I did not think Brakkesh was going to be coming through from that. And here we go. Smokes are down and out into the open. WLG does on the cross. A lot of our players returning down to the southern side.
Yeah, I mean, Grind wants some revenge. He wants some recompense for his 2 fallen teammates. See what he can find on the map, whether it's for WLG, who's moving this direction, or Team Gotaga, who are above him. Genius also moving this direction. It looks like a big bang-out fight in Tower of Babel. The final 2 minutes would be something I have not seen very often on Brakkesh during the tournament server.
Yeah, this would be an interesting kind of fight. And it's happening. Hannah from behind. Aluru ult going for the full, and don't commit to the full. That's okay. You still have Oko down from WLG, and these are getting hit markers. There
Nice.
it is. Finally, the finish coming through.
Yeah, nice cleanup there. That's a nice kill for Genius. Again, they've already gotten everything they wanted from this map, so everything else is a cherry on top. Some extra points here is nice, and unfortunately for Scooby, he walks into the incendiary just enough to where they know he's here. That is a brutal way to give up hit markers and give up the intel, and down goes WLG. 2 down, the third running away desperately through the smoke, hoping and praying that he can at least take one with him, and he's not going to get anything. WLG got to be frustrated about that one. Final 75 seconds, and Genius are having a banger map.
Let's go. Great start for them. Love to see that. Especially after this. Now for Grind. Oh, I thought you were going to eat that with your teeth, but you don't, and that's okay. But they know exactly where you are. That is something to be said about FLC. Their ability to isolate players on their own. Make these fights simple. But the jump up and Grind reads it. Oh my. Into the drone we go, looking for the remaining members of FLC, but you invest the EMP straight onto his face. And Gotaga Maxa is actually going to get the full for you, which means we have players in the vicinity. And if Gotaga's getting into the action, you've got to be wary.
30 seconds on the clock. Got to make a move for it. Kobe, Peeker's advantage, or do you want to be the person on the other side of the door? Who's going for it? Kobe's half health and a dream. Does he know Grind is here? He sees the top of his head. Now he's going for the fight. Grind gets it. Grind finding more and more value on the map. This is why you fight to your last breath. Grind gonna go for more.
Hello?
He's gonna get this finish. Almost gets a 2-piece to wrap it. But Vlad does leave the map for Gotaga. And the other 2 stay for the big fight. Nox and Max, and they get cut down. Even Genius is getting more at the very end. Genius with a huge map. Mandelbrick and a couple kills to boot. What a finish. Genius, the biggest winners by a mile. Team Gotaga, not excited about the way that one wrapped, but they at least got some value on the map.
Yo, but if you told me that Grind from Alliance was going to pick up the 2 players from FLC, I wouldn't have believed it, especially kind of being on those stairs. Sure, you're only giving up just a small portion of your body in terms of what you can see, but Silo popping up onto that box made him so open to Grind, and they were already separated out, so those kills will be incredibly nice for Alliance. But the best team of Brakkesh is 1,000%.
Wow.
Genius. 6 KP, plenty of assets, a Mandelbrick decode. They're going perfect in their last 3 Mandelbrick rounds. I don't know what's going on with Genius, but they have amped up.
I mean, this is such a great round from them. To find the brick and 6 kills and be the top team is huge for them. But like I mentioned, Team Gotaga, maybe not excited about how it wrapped, but Maxa found 5 kills. It was the first 2 early kills on Alliance members and then a couple more towards the end that gave them a solid round. This is going to push him up the leaderboard. Maxa finds his way to being top Slayer, will likely get MVP as well. So great job there, but yeah, really interesting map. I was pretty surprised to see Team Gotaga and Alliance fighting so much down the south side at Tower of Babel at the very beginning of this one when the brick was being played at Museum. But Alliance wanted the kills, and because of a bit of greediness from them, they get punished for it. And Team Gotaga come out on top there, and Genius win the round.
There you look at their top of sisters, and it's just kind of all around Gotaga and Genius, both of those teams getting mixy. Of course, you're going to be running out those leaderboards in terms of our players that were able to go ahead and extract. Jex from FLC, 2.9 mil, probably has that sniper in hand, but of course, Kilo there from Genius, 4 KP trumps Maxa's 5 KP plus Genius got the Mandelbrick. That's why we've got an MVP.
Yeah, fair enough. Maxa maybe second in line for the MVP category with his 5 that he was able to pick up. But a fun map, Tiff, and exciting to see. Hey, at least a brick was captured in our Brakkesh round. It's been a while since we've seen that.
I'm curious now if Genius can go perfect and just run it back in Space City on game number 4 and be like, you know what? We went through the gauntlet of Survivor Stage on 2 days in a row. I am done. We are closing out finals in 4. That would be disgusting.
It is possible. We got a little ways to get there, folks. It is Tide Prison next. It is another eco round, another chance for teams to get their money up by hopefully finding some kills. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be right back in just a moment.
Hello everyone, I'm Moko from WLG, and this is my room. We grinded a lot of hours, we practiced a lot. We studied the game, we studied the enemy teams. We limit tested everything that was to limit test in scrims. We came up with ideas and plans that worked best with my team. We played it perfectly when we needed to. We definitely caught some teams off guard with our performance. Although my first tournament was the first official DFGL that happened, yeah, ever since then, my competitive career has been going very well. Usually between breaks, I just go to the gym. I love going to work out. If I'm not going to work out, I'm usually going out with friends or family. Yeah, that's about it. Right now, my peripheral setup I think is the best between my team, but definitely Scooby has a beast of a PC. He has a 5070 GPU, NVIDIA. And yeah, his performance during the game is crazy. At some point in the future, I would definitely looking for an upgrade. But for now, this is everything that I need to cover. Starting off with this bed, very important part. If you follow me right here, you will see this is my gaming setup, my desk. You can see this is my 160 Hz monitor, my keyboard, my wireless mouse, a very good control mousepad, my gaming chair with a bit of a Balkan style on it, and last piece, the most important thing, is this gaming laptop that carries my streaming and my competitive duties as a eSport player. This is where I'm gonna put the up-and-coming DFI trophy next to my other national martial arts trophies. Thank you everyone, this was the room tour. Thank you for watching.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. 6 powerful squads stand ready to battle for continental supremacy. Dark Entities, a force of pure firepower. Dark Entities left no room for doubt, cutting down rivals and advancing straight to the top. WLGaming Esports, driven by passion and unwavering grit. WLGaming Esports proved they belong at the peak of EMEA competition. Alliance, conquering the grueling survival stage, they punched their ticket to the main stage, hungry for glory. Team Gotaga, through precise strategy and sheer willpower, Team Gotaga fought their way into the finals. Genius, rising above the chaos, Genius proved that no obstacle can stand between them and the title.
Picks up a second one immediately.
FLC Clan, surviving the ultimate test of endurance, they take the final slot to complete EMEA's deadly lineup. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will reign supreme? Tune in live for the EMEA Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series EMEA Finals just wrapped up map 2, Brakkesh, a mana break round, and Genius were able to grab it. Fairly free, warded off some aggressors pretty quickly, but nobody able to steal it, so we call those a free brick. 4 minutes on the clock, and they have it for all 4. So Genius at the top of the leaderboard, no question about it. Where does everybody else land? Dark Entity's early exit still puts them in the top 3, but Team Gotaga's 5 kills from the last map puts them at 2nd place overall, 11 total squad points.
All right, it's getting really close in terms of squad points at the top, with Gotaga having 11, Dark Entities, you're right, at 10, FLC Alliance and WLG really not too far behind them. Anything can happen, and one good game can really change the trajectory. We saw teams getting bricks with 10+ kills. It was crazy. So that game, if it happens when we move on to Space City, can keep you in the running. But if we ended right now, it would be Genius walking away with 60K. So that's what you have to start thinking about. Focus on your own lane. Stay in there and excel. I'm telling you, Tide Prison, though, is going to be that leveling ground, right? It's our last eco round of the series. You'll have airdrops. You'll have essentially missions that you can do to get those lucky wooden sculptures. We didn't see people utilize that over in Zero Dam, but it can be so nice here. In terms of our operator selections goes, I expect this Nox category to just disappear.
Yeah, I think you're going to see some double Noxes. You're going to see some Hack Claws. You're going to see some Morses, you know, the usual. You know, a Raptor or 2 could be nice to clear some of these hallways as well. What we know about Tide Prison is that it plays fairly slow. You have to play very sneaky. You have to check every corner or you're going to get ratted on, and we all know how that goes. So, Classic looks like the most used operator comp, at least 17 times, which throughout the course of 5 weeks isn't that many, but Double Nox Hack Claw is a staple in the Tide Prison meta, or some variants of this. A Nox and then a Hack Claw and something else, or 2 Noxes and somebody else. Usually seeing a Morse pop up into plenty of these comps as well, just for the amount of value that gathering the intel through Sonar gives you. So yeah, look out for these 3 operators in particular, but could see some engineers. Who knows? Could see a Siniva like we see in Americas.
Ooh, that's just because Hod 6 rogue as heck and wants to grapple people and beat them down. In terms of our spawns, our tier 1s went the way of Genius and Dark Entities. They're not going to be able to get their tier 1 spawns on round 3 Tide Prison Eco round. So here is this cool thing is for them. Space City, they'll be back in line to get some tier 1s. Ooh, but tier 1s for potential Tide Prison are going to go the way of WLG, Alliance, FLC, or Gotaga.
Yeah, you really don't want tier 1 spawns on Tide Prison, frankly. It's just not worth your time. You can't have it for the first Space City round. You can get a little bit of value of taking some early fights, but that's about it. So not a ton here that you would love from T1. It's all about just playing wherever you spawn and hopefully playing for kills. Tide Prison, it's going to play a little slow. It's going to be a bit of a podcast for the first half, or will it? I want to see somebody just like a bat out of hell just swing at people. Might as well at this point. It's finals, baby. You got to be top 3 to make it into season 2, and of course got to be top dog to win $60,000. Folks, if you're watching this and you want to play in it, you want to see if you can compete with the best of the best, guess what? Season 2 is right around the corner. Open registration starts tomorrow, August 10th. Season 2 open qualifiers. You got to compete with your team and try to beat down some of the other rosters to make your way to the Season 2 group stages that'll all be happening this year. Don't miss your chance to compete. You can drop a follow on all major socials here with Delta Force to stay up to date as well. But some fun stuff here for Season 2 coming up. But for now, we got to wrap up Season 1. It is finals day, and it's time for Tide Prison. Will it play slow? Will it play fast? I highly doubt it'll be fast tiff, but who knows? It could be if somebody wants to go for broke.
I say go for broke, but don't listen to me because I'm here on the desk and not in the game, and we know just how quickly these fights can turn the other direction. In terms of what we've got going on, Alliance immediately popping into the water and rotating into the south side of things. Now, let's go ahead and pull up the map. You got Gotaga up on the north, heading towards the west. Dark Entities very high up in that title control room. WLG and Genius kind of filtering through the mid, and FLC out towards cell block.
Yeah, a quick look at the map does showcase where some of the early fights could take place. Oftentimes you'll see a team like WLG actually rotate south and go play for Alliance, but instead they're electing to stay on the north side and actually maybe contest this Genius roster. Look at Scooby. He may have an angle if Genius overpeak, but unfortunately some early shots, a bit of nerves, no trigger discipline, unfortunately, means that those will not connect, and now, of course, they know he's there. Quick look at the operators. Do see a Siniva. Look at that. Genius. Thank you. I appreciate it. And now a chance to see Siniva grapple somebody, beat him down, and take a life. Otherwise, we do see the double Nox comp and Hat Claw for Alliance. They're playing meta. Everybody else have their own interesting takes on the meta and what they want from this map or what they want to save for future ones.
Alrighty, well, let's get things moving, guys. And honestly, I was curious if we would potentially see some people do the mission here to grab the lucky wood sculptures, because that and the airdrops are kind of the only ways you can get some goods moving throughout here. But holding angles for Kilo. Hey, wait a second. Whoa. We do have a CD, but I don't remember if you said that, but I'm actually super shocked, Goj. I checked out for a hot second and I was like, wait, Saniba? No way.
Yeah, I think Gotaga definitely has a chance to beat some people down. It does mean that you want to play some of these like tight alleyways, these hallways, so you actually have a sightline for it. Genius going to throw bullets down of their own, not going to connect on anything. Just going to tell DE that they're here. Again, we get to see everything. We get to see all the X-ray. We see where everybody's at. These players can't. Can't be too critical of taking some shots when you think you've got an option. But nothing connecting there means everybody's going to slow way back down. DE, but as far north as you can, up by control room. And Team Gotaga rotating that direction as well. But Tide Prison has so much verticality that... Oh, okay. Man, we got some hot hands today. Alliance pulling 3.4 mil. I'm going to be totally frank. I'm going to out myself a little bit here. I have played a lot of this game. I have never pulled that red. Chat, help me out here. I have never seen that red pulled on main. The ECMO. Okay. Fair enough. What a pull here from Alliance. I've never seen this pull in Delta Force Rise series either.
Honestly,
wait,
same. That's the first for me.
Yeah. I'm an idiot, but there you go. ECMO. Still, I've literally never seen that red in my life on main. I've only seen it in streamers' streams.
There's a first time for everything when it comes to the Delta Force Rise Series Finals, and Alliance continuing on the loot, the grind, another red going their way. Look at that little golden statue. Beautifully done.
What a pull for Alliance. Okay. Hot hands. They're at 4 mil. A couple points already going their way in the eco round. This is one way to get eco, is get lucky. Another way is go get your kills.
Alrighty. Genius just kind of laying low. You saw just underneath them WLG, making sure they're throwing the Hat Claw resources up with the knife and trying to find info on them. That's what's happening in Tide Prison. It's basically like a lot of lab rats lurking in a maze as they approach one another. Easy now. Hello? Little 500K.
I mean, good grief. They're pulling the alligator too.
Feel like
half
that.
a mil. They are cooking.
There it is.
And they are alone on the south too. Easy, a little bit split, but Hat Claw getting some nice value. Getting a read on where people are at vertically as well. And here's a look at why Raptor's nice. You can kind of clear your rotation forward. So going to check all the corners going forward. Then they follow it. Push their way on forward to try to figure out where another team is or if they're safe for a rotation around from mid-map down to the south. Genius on the move.
Hit him with a knife. Hit him with a knife in the back. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Prison guard down. Let's see what we got. It would be so crazy if we pulled something absolutely astronomical off a player like this, considering what we've seen of Lions doing with the safes.
Hey, you never know. I think the most valuable red I've ever pulled was a key card off of guard, so just a random NPC, so you never know. Get lucky.
Ooh. All right, just under 13 minutes on the match. 2.5 minutes until the airdrop comes down. Typically been landing up by the west side, but also could go into the north of the reservoir water, in which we saw Alliance kind of drop down at the spawn of things into Tide Prison. Alliance, though, at this point in time, maybe 1 or 2 good fights and then dip. I would love to see them just get out of the map.
Yeah, I mean, they can fit their reds. I think actually all of the reds they pulled, they could fit in their safe boxes, but the safe boxes are now full or very close to it. So they've pulled Alligator, they pulled the other golden sculpture, they pulled the ECMO, they pulled the... Yeah, I mean, it all fits, so... You can keep kind of playing here, but they want to stack one and send them out. Not a bad place, so they can stack up more in safe boxes, especially if they get into a fight and survive it. A big fight here, though, finally. Bullets is changing hands, and both Alliance and Genius catch some bullets both directions, both backing off. The first big fight is happening in the south like usual, just not quite as quickly as usual. And Alliance they've got some chaos that they can hide behind as the Warden goes on the move.
All right, Warden. Love to see what you got. Sometimes we just get Raven and Warden on a battle, and other times we don't. But for right now, I feel like Raven has definitely lost a few times the past week to the Warden. Oh, yeah. Wait. Yeah. I love when people like to get on the move quickly. Let's go WLG. Filter in through that staircase. See if we can go in behind Gotaga.
Warden has definitely been winning more than Raven.
Just better.
Saniva has a couple usages. One, I know this sounds weird, but in Tide Prison, you can almost use Saniva like a recon operator because you can peek corners without getting the risk of getting obliterated one-shot headshot. Pop your shield up, check the corner, get some intel, and back up. Of course, if somebody overextends, go for the grapple, but takes a bit of damage, gonna have to back up and heal.
Not the deep trauma.
First 9 minutes, fairly uneventful. As kind of per the usual, though.
Tide Prison be Tide Prisoning. But honestly, for Alliance to find that much value and profits is pretty nice. We did see some Reds go the way of FLC also. For Gotaga, they've been kind of hunted, but for now are pretty isolated in Tide Prison.
Yeah, they're alone on the west side of the map. So if they can get some intel to make a move, they're actually going to go for the GTI supply mission. So a great call from them. Since they're alone, they've got the time for it. Let's go for it. As a reminder for Tide Prison, for those that haven't been watching it a ton, the GTI supply mission is actually how you get the high caliber weapon. So they're able to get this C4 to explode, blow open this door. They will pick up either an M82 or an on the map. The airdrop that is coming will have the gear. So that'll have random golds, maybe a red or two. So definitely worth going for this mission if you can get away with it. And it looks like Team Gotaga likely will.
Okay, good move onto them to get those resources. Let's see, the airdrop is actually going to drop down west watchtower area as far down as possible. It's like kind of on the beach of the reservoir southwest. So if you're going to be going for that extract, you'll likely go ahead and stop and pick up the airdrop as well. Meanwhile, Vlad just kind of knifing down all these prison guards, dealing with a good look at where it is. There we have it. Who's going to be the one to swim for it if they decide to go down this way?
And again, it's something you just kind of get in passing. It doesn't need to be an objective that you die over, but nobody even remotely near the southwest side of the map. So we'll see that airdrop for a little while. Team Gotaga finishing up this mission. The rest trying to figure out what to do. FLC alone northeast. WLG are on the move. They're slowly actually working this direction. They're on the northwest side of the map, working their way towards Team Gotaga, while FLC rotate on the northeast.
Okay. Alliance, grind, Lynx, and Easy still all pretty separated out. Oh, there it is. Gotaga, once they complete that mission, they're going to have that heavy-hitting sniper to throw down with. Now, will they extract to keep it in play for Space City?
Yeah, nice play. They pick up the They're going to have it for this map. If they want to use it, or like Tiff said, maybe just get out with it.
I would want it for Space City, 100%.
I mean, it's super valuable on Space City playing for the bricks. And you hear the shots of Warden and Raven fighting. Let's see if Warden let's see if Warden wins it again. Nobody engaging in the fight, so it should.
I love how that's the battle that we're hearing, and everyone's like, look, I'm just trying to listen in for footsteps, and I've just got these bosses battling. Throughout the Survivor stage, it was 100% Warden out there with the wins against a Raven, but times can change. Times can change. Raven, listen, you better fight back.
If I start casting over NPCs fighting, you know something's wrong, okay? Let's use this covering fire as a moment to move and make a play here. Seems like Gotaga... Has Vlad wasted a shot? I saw 4. Maybe self-limiting himself. He can't put it in yes, Warden does win because nobody interacted with it, so nice. But I saw 4 shots in the sniper. I can't imagine he used a shot yet, but it does look like WLG actually go down first. Easy. We missed the fight. Easy finds an angle. WLG down to a duo. Scooby first to fall, and Dark Entity's moving this direction as well. WLG maybe in a tough position right now, trying to figure out where do we go from here. Team on one side, team on the other, and everybody hears the shot, so everybody moving this direction. Like flies to rotting food. The rotting body of Scooby is drawing in all of the players on this map.
The pictures that I have in my head, it's just another Sunday. Okay, Gotaga though, wanting to get a piece of this, and they, no, not Vlad, not down, not with the like that. Easy finds him just from the flank, and Max of the trades coming through, knocks last alive for Gotaga as an Alliance has broken them down.
Alliance had the perfect setup, and unfortunately not enough intel between these 3 operator choices means that Team Gotaga walk into a kill box. And they lose 2. It's going to be Nox by himself, hoping to connect some sense of utility so he can play for one of these. He gets 1, but he gets thrown right back at him. He can't see anything. They're all going to stack together. Good news, bad news here. Nox has a chance to be a hero. Bad news, he's taking a ton of damage, and it's all bad news. Not even able to get a trade. Team Gotaga may have gotten the but they've given it away to potentially Alliance as Easy finds more. Yes, Gotaga's down, but more fights at hand. Dark Entity's pushing forward, and Selin falls, and WLG full wiped. It is teamwork there between Alliance and Dark Entities to find all of WLG who couldn't get their footing after falling onto their heels. 2 teams down, 4 to go with 5 minutes on the clock.
Alrighty, well, let's get into it. We'll see what's going to happen with Alliance inching closer to that 7 mil in profits. Ingenious, the only team to have a Saniva on Tide Prison, getting crazy. Still, shield up, looking to make contact. You got Jex down the way, peppering. But if you're a Saniva, you're like, I can check this all day.
Peeking corners, what has it yielded you? Bit of intel. Obviously, you know FLC's on the other side. A 3v3 fight for now. Dark Entities nowhere in sight. They are in the northwestern side of the map looting bodies. Alliance are making a wide rotation. You can't see on your minimap right now. Alone still, but they're playing to extract. They are going to go get the airdrop as a current, and then they're going to leave through reservoir area. Here's a quick look at them, and then we'll go back to the fight. Looting up this airdrop, and then getting over to reservoir and getting out of the lobby. Again, look at it. More golds going their direction. They are stocked to the gills with loot. They're at 9.1 mil after the kills that they picked up. Now 10! No way!
Yeah, but that one's huge. That one's huge. Like, you gotta extract if you're gonna be picking that up. I think it's like, what, a 4x3? It's massive.
They're also pulling 1.5 mil red in the final seconds. What in the world is this Alliance luck? Leaving Tide Prison at nearly 11 mil.
Yeah, they're leaving. They're getting out, like 100%. We are taking everything that we've got and more. Definitely sending those resources out. But you see Dark Entities from the high ground looking straight down on Alliance. That timer for the extraction is ticking. It's got to be close, and Alliance are out of here. A massive value has been gained here on Tide Prison down to the final 3 minutes.
Insane. The buoyancy control device pull at the final seconds. Unbelievable. More fights at hand, though. Genius may be in a bit of trouble still. Fighting against FLC. Alliance with the biggest map by a country mile. Inside. Oh, he goes for the grapple. It was close.
I'm waiting for someone to do that. FLC, though, you know those comms are going to be ready. They're going to be setting up the positioning across the way for Genius. How are they going to approach? Kobe now, working the angles behind Silhouette, clearing things out, making sure traps are down, and we've got to deal with them.
3 teams left on the map, 2 minutes on the clock. Dark Entities desperately wanting to move this direction to get a piece of the action. But currently, it is a 3v3, and players are split vertically. Dark Entities in rotation. Kobe finds the first angle, though, and down goes their Saniva. No more peeking corners. A 3v2 and Chin's on the run, and I think Kobe's got this read. Genius, maybe not wanting this fight now that they don't have an advantage. Holding angles that they know they can at least line one up and pick them up in transition. But the third party is on the way. Dark Entity showing up in the X-ray. Moving this direction. Uzbishka's taking quite a bit of damage, so at least one team knows that they're here, and it's going to be FLC throwing bullets down range. Genius. This is a great sign, a great sound to hear. More shots means more teams, which means at least you won't get hunted.
Oh no, Dark Entity's position exposed here as they still work their way over towards this fight between Genius and FLC. Gonna connect there, but they will force them to reposition and immediately look your way.
A tough call to make with only 60 seconds, but even with a gold at hand, Dark Entities are going to lose it on the map. They've got to play for these kills, and they need to get aggressive here. It's a waste if you found a gold on the map and you aren't able to use it, so might as well full send, full tilt. Let's see what happens. A move, a flank, and yes, FLC gets paid, but can he get more than that? No, and he won't even get to full confirm. Should be able to pick up the res here, or at least keep them down. Oh. No, an angle. Kilo finds it over the top. Uzbishka goes down. Genius enacting revenge, and Folare just trying to stay alive. 2 bodies down in red, timer 20 seconds on the clock. They have to go get confirmed, and that's exactly what Kilo does. Uzbishka gets to confirm, and Kilo once more. Salawa in trouble, so he smokes. Prone's out for a moment to try to heal up. Hit marker's not connecting, means he will stay alive, but only 8 seconds on the clock. Chin's from the off angle. Can he catch one through the smoke?
Oh my gosh. You'd have such a crazy angle if it wasn't for the smoke, but it clears and he hits Jack to the back, but the timer expires. And we find no value in that. Whoa.
A crazy final moment, but we did see Dark Entities fall in that final moment as well. So another kill exchanging hands. So overall, a great map for a couple different teams, frankly. I think Dark Entities didn't really find much on the map. They ended up finding maybe 1 or 2 kills maximum. But it was Alliance that found several and also had the hot hands. They found a ton of reds. And they find their way to getting out of the lobby as well through the reservoir. So a great play from Alliance, and therefore they're the best team. They actually find 4 kills throughout the course of some of those scraps. And then a great call to just get out of the map. 10.7 million assets gained out of Tide Prison is one of the biggest values I've seen. Great luck and also great skill at hands. Alliance going to jump this leaderboard.
It might be one of the best Tide prisons I've seen throughout the entirety of the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1 over on the EMEA side of things, at least when I've been on the mic. If you're grabbing 4 kills and extracting with north of 10 million in assets, phenomenal job. Dark Entities with 3 kills of their own, and FLC and Genius grabbing 2. None for Team Gotaga, despite Team Gotaga doing that supply mission and getting the they're not going to be able to get it out. They pretty much go down with it. WLG, for as much as they were hunting other teams and trying to get locations on them, it just did not go their way.
Yeah, it didn't go their way. WLG having a bad rep thus far, but everything can change once we get to Space City. If I remember correctly, things like this have happened to WLG a couple times, and then they're able to go back-to-back on brick rounds and potentially even clutch up and get the win. But quick look at some of our leaderboards. Uzbishka, somehow, some way, still finds himself as the top damage dealer. Every week, every match, this dude just puts up crazy damage through util, gunplay, everything. Finds his way to the top damage dealer in this one as well. And an assist to go his way. Dark Entities did pick up 3, a bit more than I thought. It's not a bad map for them. Again, when they were already near top of the leaderboard from a squad points category, this is nice to see. But Alliance, easily the biggest leap. All of these assets combined over 10 million. That's 5 supply points plus the 4 kill points they got and the value you get from those. That was a big Tide Prison map.
Yeah, that was massive. I'm excited to see the final leaderboard when we come back, but easy with 3 KP and a ton of assets gained for Alliance. Round 3 MVP. It's setting themselves up for such good positioning moving into our Space City Marathon. All the Mandel bricks, all the game changers, and that's where really a champion will emerge.
A champion could emerge in the next map. As a reminder, we could play a maximum of 7 rounds, but we could end in 4. Can Genius close it out and not let anyone catch them on the leaderboard? And it'll come down to tiebreakers for 2nd and 3rd, or will we play up to 7? Only time will tell. As you see down below, as a quick reminder, drop a follow on all major socials here with Delta Force. Stay up to date on everything going on in the esports scene with Delta Force Rise series, and of course, all the new updates coming your way with Delta Force and the amazing ecosystem that we've got. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, could be our last map of the day or just the beginning of the end. Only time will tell.
The enemy got the Mandel bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mandel bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament. They're going to do it.
What goes around comes around.
Not going to do very much. Oh. You get barrel stuff. Skitey is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
That's so much damage, and there it is.
From Dark Entities, and today I'll be showing you my gaming setup and giving you a small tour of my gaming place. Let's begin with showcasing the room. So it's very minimalistic, as you can see, white walls, nothing special. My gaming place, here I have a couch, and what we also have here is paintball stuff. I mean paintball gear. During the summertime I love to play paintball. As a team, that was our expectation, like to get in top 2 in group stage, nothing else. So yeah, we were like, yeah, we did our job, so yeah, we're good with that. How did we achieve that? Is by playing a lot, training, analyzing, doing strats, look how others play, and every day like this, nothing else. During the breaks, we usually have 1 hour of a break. Like our day starts with playing pubs. After pubs, we have 1 hour between scrims. So we usually, I can speak for myself that I just usually eat and lay on the bed. That's it. Like chill around. Maybe go outside, like take a walk. Sometimes, yeah, I do that also. The heart of my setup is my PC. So basically, what you can see here is a 5080 RTX 7800X3D CPU, 32 gigs of RAM. Thank you, everyone. It was USB from Dark Entities, and goodbye, everyone.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. 6 powerful squads stand ready to battle for continental supremacy. Dark Entities, a force of pure firepower. Dark Entities left no room for doubt, cutting down rivals and advancing straight to the top. WLGaming Esports, driven by passion and unwavering grit. WLGaming Esports proved they belong at the peak of EMEA competition. Alliance. Conquering the grueling survival stage, they punched their ticket to the main stage, hungry for glory. Team Gotaga. Through precise strategy and sheer willpower, Team Gotaga fought their way into the finals. Genius. Rising above the chaos, Genius proved that no obstacle can stand between them and the title.
Picks up a second one immediately.
FLC Clan. Surviving the ultimate test of endurance, they take the final slot to complete EMEA's deadly lineup. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will reign supreme? Tune in live for the EMEA Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series EMEA Finals, and guess what time it is? It's Mantle Brick time, baby. It's Space City time, and I'm so pumped to be moving back to Space City. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where I say all the idioms about how important things are, Tiff, because Space City means we've got a Mantle Brick every single round. And with a team picking up a Mantle Brick Genius in Brakkesh, we are technically on match point. We've got a team that can technically close out the tournament right here, right now.
Super curious, Gosh. If I gave you 1 minute, how many of those idioms do you think you could fit in it?
Like 30, probably.
All right, we'll chow that later. If something happens and we've got dead air, I'm going to make sure that we have the Goj idiom challenge. Chat, you could definitely help them out. But in the meantime, our final leaderboard after round 3 looks a bit crazy, right? Genius with the Mantle Brick on Brakkesh is going to lead them to that top place slot. They do have 16 squad points, which is fantastic. The only crazy part is Dark Entities in third is incredibly close to them. An Alliance after that massive game on Tide Prison with 4 kills and extracting north of 10 mil of assets is going to bring them up to 18 squad points. So those are the couple of teams you need to keep your eyes out when it comes to getting bricks, because Genius could end it all. For basically Team Gotaga and FLC being tied with 11, that's all fun and games. A good game should be able to usurp the 14 and potentially even the 18 that Alliance has. But WLG, even if they get a brick, they're still going to be in second place on this leaderboard. So that is all that matters, right? We are in Brick City, Space City, baby. Let's get to it.
Brick City indeed. Space City back to back to back, and then of course last place will choose our round 7 if we get there. Between Space City and Brakkesh, we got to talk operators. When we go to Space City, everything changes. Gonna see some Stingers, gonna see some Lunas, gonna see some Tempest assuredly. For those that are new, why is Tempest so good? It's Tempest's, we call it their ult, emergency evasion device, is the most important ability in the game right now, because you're able to go forward, risk your life, go for a steal, and then zip all the way back to where you planted your ropes and self-revive when you do that. So it's okay to get knocked, as it'll immediately send you back as well. So it's really, really powerful when going for brick steals or going for grabbing the brick off spawn. So you can see those 3 operators I highlighted. Let's talk spawns, though. WLG and Alliance pulled the worst spawn, which is T1 on Tide Prison. Therefore, you will not see them on T1 in Space City. But we say this every time we play Space City. T2 spawns are nearly as good.
Yeah, 100%. But when you think about Alliance and WLG already burning their Tide Prison tier 1s, when we think of Tempest, that is a risk for them to bring it in, because since you're not guaranteed a tier 1, typically you're going to focus on fighting it. And if the brick happens, great. We'll see what it looks like for them. In terms of Gotaga, FLC, Genius, DE, probably going to go for broke and bring in whatever it takes to get the brick done. Now, Genius have already expended a Tempest back on that Brakkesh map, but it did net them a brick. If they want to go ahead and end it out here, we could start seeing the potential for some gold ammo to come through. I wouldn't imagine a gold typical investment in terms of your helmets and armor until we get into game 5, though.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe go for it now, because you don't want to risk losing right now. If you leave something on the table, what are you saving it for? Season 2? Like,
that's
at this
also
point,
true.
What can you count out? I don't know. I'll be curious to see strategies. But folks, guess what? We got a team on match point. You know what time it is. It's time for a giveaway. You've been waiting patiently for this. Get your typing fingers ready. We got 1,000 Delta tickets going to a lucky 15 of you. Here it is. Type in that code, redeem it in-game or at the official website. Your chance to be one of the lucky 15 that types it in faster than everybody else in chat to earn these Delta tickets. Got a few more giveaways coming up towards the end of the show today, and of course in Americas as well. But thank you for being here. We love to reward you for doing just that. But fine, it's time. Space City, Mana Brick round, potentially the last map of the day. Here we go.
And as we look around to see tier 1 spawns going the way of FLC over at Westgate, as well as Genius. Interesting enough, our team in win condition is going to be one of the ones inheriting a tier 1 spawn. Dark Entities from Dormitory will have a nice LOS straight onto FLC as Jex is getting electrified out with about 10 HP, and they still want to make it work. Keep eyes on them. FLC, if I'm not mistaken, came in absolutely solid gold. They've got the Tempest, Luna, Stinger comp. They're ready for a brick.
So interestingly enough, This fight is very important, and it does look like FLC played patient enough to sneak their way through. Nice job getting through Westgate. It can be dangerous. Alliance have come over Central Command Bridge from the T2 spawn up at Central Command and just sprinted down main, and it worked for them. So you can see everybody rotating in. Team Gotaga has, I think, one of the more powerful positions from a T2 position. Yes, Alliance are able to get towards Brick. And actually, no, it's going to be Genius first to the Brick by just being there right on spawn. Again, sometimes you're just a bit faster than everybody else, and everybody rotated here early, but nobody else got to the Brick right as it was available to grab. So Genius, nice job. No Tempest. They're doing it with the D-Wolf. Exoskeleton suit is ready to rock and roll, and they are sprinting. Here's the interesting point I was making. Couple things. Like you mentioned, FLC full gold. Team Gotaga, 2 out of 3 gold. Only half our team's running Tempest. The other 3 not. The reason they do this is they're thinking this will not end in 4. We want a Tempest for 5 and 6. As more teams have the Brick, we have to be able to play for steals. So an interesting strategy. Let's see who it pays off for. Genius are going indoors.
To Black Chamber, one of the most exciting decode stations for them. Now, of course, we get to witness the chaos that's going to ensue. For Gotaga, who's outside, thanks to their spawn down kind of towards the south, they're going to be moving up a little bit closer. For WLG, you have to think about, we're in Central Command building. We've got angles. We're scouting. Did Dormitory move? You're keeping tabs on where everyone is currently situated. You know that that decode's going off. 30 seconds have already ticked off the timer.
I mean, a couple notes. One, Grind is dying to a flamethrower NPC, okay?
Happens.
Alliance, let's get back on our feet. It happens to the best of us. We got to go play for Brick. Here's the other interesting note. You don't have 100% certain way of knowing who's currently decoding the mana brick, okay? So you have to play for it. What you don't know is it is the team on match point. And Team Gotaga are here to play for it. But if nobody else shows up in time, Genius will win the finals. They will be the champions of Season 1. They are the only team with the brick, and they're currently decoding the brick. 2, we did see from distance dark entities getting read by a scope. It's a rangefinder scope. It is one way to check who your opponents are because it gives you their name. It is probably one of the stronger scopes that you can put on your weapons, especially in this format. But indoors, it may not matter. Team Gotaga, they may now know who their opponents are as they catch the wrong end of a great sight line here. Chins knocking Team Gotaga down to a duo. Everybody else slow on the draw to get to the brick. Genius have a chance to win.
Kind of scary if they immediately get denied. And look at us, still committed to the resources. You do have D-Wolf, you've got ult available, triple blaster, and plenty of this. We just need to get Vlad back up. You got to knock on to Hannah, nice. And the full comes in. Reds go the way of Alliance.
Golly.
Dude, what the heck is happening?
A black bug's pulled by Alliance is ridiculous. Another 2.1 bill. Hey, sure. Great hot hands. Great luck. It may not matter. You gotta go for the brick. We've traded 1 for 1, though, so it's a 2v2 around the brick fight right now, and nobody else is here. Not yet. People gotta move. 2 minutes on the clock. We're halfway to Genius winning this competition. Team Gotaga are the only team that have something to say about it. Finally, WLG are moving this direction. Look at yellow on the minimap. They're here. Look at FLC. They're rotating in purple on the minimap. Coming in, finally, a 4-team fight, but only 90 seconds on the clock.
Oh boy, this is gonna get messy. You're right, 100%. 90 seconds, baby. Is this worth 60K? Will this be a flawless finals for them? But WLG into the mix, compound bow in hand, back to the pocket, and we see Gotaga. WLG, the Scooby push, knocks balls. Vlad, low HP. Maxa, the IGL,
Good
trying to clear some things up from the rear, and WLG get annihilated. One still up. It's gonna be Selin.
Selin, last alive, goes for the steal to save the lobby. Genius no longer in control, and no longer am I screaming into my mic for somebody to go for it. Selin has the wherewithal to know that Team Gotaga want to heal back up. He sticks the steal, he grabs his buddy, and he tries to put him to safety so he can get a teammate up. Picking him all the way out to the backside of this fight to go for a res. Genius, content to wait and watch the world burn underneath them to swoop in and potentially win this match still.
Okay. Interesting positioning here from everyone looking to make a play, but there's still teams on the outside looking in. We pull up the map. You got FLC who have entered the Black Chamber. Alliance still holding just on the outskirts, and dark entities from Dormitory have entered the mainland. They're working their way down. And you know that based off bringing in the Tempest Stinger Luna, they want to get active. But it's going to take some time now with WLG hitting the decode. 2:30 on the clock. Oh no, WLG down and out. Decode interrupted. The solo who was trying to prolong the life of the tournament gets punished.
Great play. Disarm there. It means there's just no chance for Talon. WLG, yes, they got the steal and they saved the lobby as of current, but now the timer is paused. Like we mentioned, there's a lot of rules around the Mantle Brick, and this is one of them. Team Gotaga will walk up mostly for free here and start the decode. Team Gotaga now in a power position. They are playing low side. It's very easy to get third-partied from that, I call it the closet. Let's take a look back on some of these engagements, and Maxa just hits the disarm here. Selen can't even shoot back. It's just brutal, unfortunate ending for WLG. Maxa has so many kills. It's ridiculous. This guy is so good.
Love that we've got the reset for Gotaga. And the brick going. That timer decreasing 30 seconds each and every seas. With the Raptor, you can at least scope out what's going on. Is anyone hiding in our stairwells? Who's looking to make a play? And at the very end, you see the ankles of FLC.
So we can see all 4 out of 5 teams left here on the minimap, stacked on top of each other. You might be wondering, who are we missing? Yeah, it's Dark Entities. They're up at Printing Room.
Sure.
Northeast side of the map, and they're going to slowly rotate this direction. They're going to show up very, very late, and that may prove useful for them. We'll see. 2 minutes left. Team Gotaga on the clock.
Oh, okay. And instead, FLC finds Genius. The battle begins. Composite Incendiary down for the doorway, and Kobe wastes the Tempest ult. Doesn't get a knock out of it. Genius doesn't give them any angles to make that happen. Alliance, though, scopes out, looking for info. We have entered, and now 1:30 on the clock. We see Gotaga. The Alluru ult was looking to find that way through the hall. It pushes back.
Team Gotaga are trapped basically in the closet. It's a decent place to heal up, and they can play the door. Problem is, if a couple teams pinch at this right time, and especially now that Dark Entities are slowly moving this direction, they can get pinched really easily, and enough utility gets thrown into that closet, and the door is shut. It may just burn, but we'll see. Alliance have an angle. They've peeked and found Dark Entities in the rotate, so they at least have some intel here as DE play bridge. And then we'll likely move this direction. 60 seconds on the clock. Team Gotaga still currently decoding.
DE now on the south side. You saw Alliance taking some shots at them. They're still on the move, still on the hunt, but who's going to go for the C's on the Mantle Brick? Incendiary still to block the angles. Triple blasters galore straight towards FLC. But if you guys remember, in the locker room is Gotaga, and now we've entered the hallway. Alliance trying to get onto it, and we're stunned up. This is where Gotaga's gonna push, but look who's got his back. It's easy. He takes down Nox. Vlad and Maxa have to hold, and he gets yeeted around.
Alliance, no. Team Gotaga are gone. Can you get them all? Yes. Even the ulted Tempest going back to safety gets obliterated. A trap lying in wait. Alliance have gotten the steal, and a new 2-minute timer for Alliance. Team Gotaga fall second to last in this one. We'll see where they land on the leaderboard while the chaos continues to ensue. Genius in trouble. We'll assuredly play one more map if Genius can't win this one, and that's exactly what happens. The only team on match point out of this lobby, also trapped in a room, and FLC brought in the big guns. And M82 opens the engagement, and a 3v2 in close quarters goes to the likes of FLC. 3 teams left, all 3 with 3 up, as Link's barely able to stay alive.
The fact that we get out of there, getting caught out from the right side, is crazy. So far, still 140 left on the decode for Alliance, who are playing a bit from the decode. Now, Dark Entities, who assisted a lot with the breakdown of Gotaga, are here on the outside. Stairways coming through, but FLC up on the high level of the building. Here we go. Clearing out. Full array. Making sure that no one is hiding.
Alliance have a pretty strong position on the outside. They can get one pick here. When DE push, they could potentially full hold. Dark Entities feel a lot more comfortable playing closet, given that there's only 4 teams on the map, and they've cleared out the south side. They know nobody's going to wrap around the outside and through the door where they just caused all that chaos. So, pretty strong position. But, look at our comps. Alliance does not have a Tempest. The other 2 do. Could easily see some Tempest ults popped here to go for this steal.
Go. Gonna have to make a move. About to be in that 30-second mark. And if Dark Entities and FLC push at the exact same time, it might be too chaotic. You see Folare goes towards it and seizes it. 2 minutes on the clock.
I actually quite like this play from Alliance. They're playing slow. They're letting them steal it, and then they go for the engagement. Door shot right in their faces is just enough cover to allow Dark Entities to get to safety. Very low. 2 players from DE got low enough to where they easily could have fallen. But a great heads-up play to prone out before crossing the doorway and then back up into the closet as they close the door. Provides them enough cover to stay on their feet. Dark Entities currently decoding. 90 seconds on the clock. Every steal will put it at 90.
Here's the difference, though. Folare was the one to go for the decode and seize of it, right? And he's full gold. So when that ammo damage is coming through, he is really mitigating the risk and staying alive is great. But FLC, solid gold, wanting to make something happen of it. You've got location down onto grind, hit markers galore. But now that you've given up that information, we're back into another situation. We're about to hit the 1 minute mark.
Yeah, 1 minute for Alliance. They were able to hop back onto the brick immediately after Dark Entities to steal it away. We are at minimum timer. Every steal is 90 seconds. Still plenty of game clock to play. Alliance on the outside of the brick. Dark Entities inside. And FLC on top.
All right. Izbishka, ult in the back pocket, wants to get anti with Alliance, swides on out, takes down Lynx, but the trade comes through if FLC's Jex finds him. And the full for Lynx. Wow, FLC on that high ground, really making it work for them. And now Alliance down to a duo. Dark Entities needs to hit the res, but with the Tempest going down, likely going to pick themselves up, and there it goes. Okay, now still 1:10 on the clock for DE.
DE said thank you very much as FLC clean up one of the kills they got. Use Bishka ults instead of to steal, ults out to get a kill. Again, Alliance without a Tempest is a huge disadvantage compared to these other 2 teams, especially in a 3-team bout. The Dark Entities in a power position right now. Alliance looking to maybe grab this body, take it to safety and res, but it would require more time on the clock. We're going to have to get another steal. Whether it comes from FLC or themselves, we'll see, but for now, FLC have been fairly content for these other 2 teams to battle. And finally, they're starting to realize we can't keep leaving it up to these 2 teams to keep this game going. We have to get involved. So yes, Jex still stays on high ground. The other 2 go low. Gonna come downstairs. Salawa and FLC may make a play for the brick here. 25 seconds. Dark Entities in control. Somebody's got to go for it. And an ulting Tempest from FLC could do it as Alliance go for the res.
2.5 seconds to be able to take the decode, and Dark Entities Folare is going to make a play to sit near the decoding station inside the smoke. Here comes FLC, 7 seconds on the clock, and all he has to do is close the gap, hip fire, and let it rip. Jex down, Jex out, and decoding is going to go the way as Dark Entities grab a brick.
Dark Entities a perfect play. Smokes are nice for visual cover. They will not stop bullets. So when the timer gets low, just start holding the trigger down and let the bullet hose rise right on top of that decoding. Dark Entities pick up a kill. They pick up the nut, and they pick up the brick. And they're going to try to get away with their lives as well. 4 minutes on the clock. Dark Entities backing out of this engagement, slowing it down, taking a breather, and realizing they just put themselves one step away from winning EMEA Finals. A great job from them to stay patient. They show up extremely late. You got to remember there were 5 teams all in Black Chamber. Dark Entities were in Printing Room. They wrap all the way around. They come in last from the south. They wipe Team Gotaga. They take power position, and they play it patiently. Really well done. These guys have been watching a lot of VODs, but still more to play for on this map in the final 3 minutes.
I mean, we're still ready to get into the action. Easy down, easy out, and FLC looking to take the hurt to Alliance, try to finish it out. Grind in the doorway, loses it out to Silo, who goes on a 3-kill streak. Finally, Lynx brings them down. 1 member of FLC left.
A 1v1 and then 3 left for Dark Entities. They're going to send 1 player out. Dark Entities is going to send 1 player out via Test Workshop. The other 2 are going to stay on the map and go for these kills. Dark Entities would love to swing in here and steal a couple of these away. With only 2 players left, can they get here in time? No. Alliance cut down Kobe with great shots over the top. Connects with the headshot over the top of the box to find the rest of Alliance. A lot of points, and here's Folare leaving the map.
Might as well send one out through that horizontal test workshop and just kind of maximize the resources, because knowing that there's 2 teams with a brick, it's going to come down to squad points on the leaderboard, and everything that you can do to stack it in your favor is what needs to happen. For Genius, who got cut down pretty early in this round, unfortunately couldn't get things moving, but Dark Entities' Uzbishka is going to make sure we loot everybody throughout this black chamber for the next 2 minutes.
Looting everybody. We may hear some footsteps off in the distance. Kobe making himself known by sprinting and dive rolling around. Would love to isolate some ones here and go for some fights. He's going to lose these golds that he's leaving on the map. Doesn't want to give any extra points to anybody else. You can see on the left-hand side of your screen our current totals. Those will slightly change as we go back to lobby, but they at least tell the small story that squad points-wise, we're pretty even near the top. It's going to come down to bricks.
FLC played really well, though. I think they've got 7 kills as a team from this round on Space City. Yeah, right there, 7.
Wow.
Tilo for 3, massive, but unfortunately not going to net themselves a brick. Had to be a bit more efficient in that. And honestly, Full Array just sitting on the brick inside of smoke, solid gold for the team, does enough to make it happen. Now, sending one out to maximize their squad points, that's how you make a play for 60K.
Yeah, and if not 60, you're just trying to hedge your bets on the squad points that you at least get top 2, top 3 if a couple other teams get bricks. So, I like the heads-up play there. And if you might be wondering, if you don't watch this a lot, dog tags, really? Yeah, dog tags are about 150K on Space City by the time we get here. They ramp up in value till now, so dog tags are definitely nice to grab for 1-slot items. Gotta keep them in your safe box, though, if you're not gonna get out of the map, which, of course, Kobe will not. And neither will the last 2 members of DE.
All right, 30 seconds to go, and just maximizing safe box and just pretty much saying sayonara, because you're not going to find that last player of FLC. They're also going to be frolicking about trying to maximize whatever they're leaving the map with. But the first safe day on Space City has been absolutely just insane. Multiple teams getting bricks. No one denied just yet. Now I just want to see every brick round. What if just like everyone ties out on a Mandel brick throughout our rounds and it comes down to squad points?
Never know. Stranger things have happened in the Delta Force Rise series, and it is the finals after all. And the frustration that Dark Entities ensued through the last couple maps turns into excitement. Job not done, but the finale in sight. A brick in hand likely means top 3. It likely means we will see you in the finals. Not assuredly, but likely. And it also means you're 1 step away from winning it all and winning 60K as a trio. That's a lot of money, especially for a lot of players that it's their first time going pro in something. This is a big opportunity. So big shout out to Dark Entities, best team throughout the course of map 4, mainly because they picked up 3 kills, which is great. Solid damage, decent assets as well, with 1 player getting out, but mainly because of this brick they picked up. Great job, Dark Entities.
Yep, stellar performance there. 1.9 mil in assets, of course. As we look at our scoreboard with 3 kills and a brick, it's going to put them at the top. But FLC grabbed 7 kills. Gotaga with 4, fighting for every moment they could during their time decoding the Mandel Brick Alliance with a nice steal, grab 2, a Genius on 1, trying to hold off if they could. And WLG, dang for them, but at least they got 1 kill. Haven't been able to get things moving for them just yet, but that's okay, because you can still go back-to-backs in round 5 and 6, and it is still you first place on the day. But of course, our top killers, Maxa, making moves in Black Chamber, still finding some of theirs as well.
Yeah, great job. Team Gotaga had some nice moments in that one, too. They were the first ones to kind of answer the call of stopping Genius from winning outright. So, yeah, some fun things to look back on, of course, in that entire map, and a lot of points exchanging hands, which means our leaderboard is going to be very close for all of those in the squad points category, not for those with bricks. Leaderboard sorted by bricks first, then squad points. So we'll see 2 teams at the top and 4 far behind. Unfortunately, we will not see WLG on any of these because they have had a brutal day today, but they could turn things around in the next couple maps if we have a couple more. Easy's Alliance with that black box does find 2.1 mil red. Nice job there. Otherwise, the members of Dark Entities finding a bit more in their safe boxes after looting up the bodies. and Fuller getting out, protecting some of the golds they brought in. Salawa finds his way to match MVP, or round MVP rather, as he finds 3 kills and nearly a $250,000 and an assist as an individual. This guy's been topping all the individual charts. FLC, a solid map.
A solid map for sure, but with 4 rounds done and 2 bricks going the way of 2 separate teams, anything can happen. And I feel like the door to being the champion of the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1 is still anyone's game.
The door's still open. Let's see who runs through it or maybe breaks down the door and says, you can't stop me. I'm going to do it anyways. You could see WLG flip this leaderboard on its head. You never know what can happen in Space City, folks. We're going to head to a very short break. When we come back, could be the last map of the day or still the beginning of the end.
The enemy got the mantle bricks. Find it. Stop them. Mantle bricks decoded. Nice work, operator.
The time to strike is now. Do not let me down, operator.
Decoding has begun. Defend the area.
Is about to take the first brick of the tournament, and they're going to do it!
What goes around, comes around.
Not going to do very much, though. When you get barrel stuff, Skitey is getting aggressive.
See what I did there? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Let's knock them off their feet.
There we go. Damage, and there it is.
The wait is over. The battle lines are drawn. The stage is set for absolute dominance. Welcome to the road to glory. Only the elite remains to fight for the championship title. 6 powerful squads stand ready to battle for continental supremacy. Dark Entities, a force of pure firepower. Dark Entities left no room for doubt, cutting down rivals and advancing straight to the top. WLGaming Esports, driven by passion and unwavering grit. WLGaming Esports proved they belong at the peak of EMEA competition. Alliance. Conquering the grueling survival stage, they punched their ticket to the main stage, hungry for glory. Team Gotaga. Through precise strategy and sheer willpower, Team Gotaga fought their way into the finals. Genius. Rising above the chaos, Genius proved that no obstacle can stand between them and the title.
Picks up a second one immediately.
FLC Clan. Surviving the ultimate test of endurance, they take the final slot to complete EMEA's deadly lineup. 6 elite squads. Every team fights for a share of the prize pool, but only the top 3 will claim their tickets to Season 2. Who will reign supreme? Tune in live for the EMEA Finals.
Welcome back, Delta Force Rise Series EMEA Finals. We just wrapped up a Space City map, and we got 2 different teams with the brick. They were late to the party, but it was the perfect timing to show up late and be the life of the party. Dark Entities pick up the brick. They pick up a solid map. FLC might have done most of the dirty work. They found 7 kills. But Dark Entities with a brick means we have 2 teams on match point. Genius and Dark Entities at the top. We can see how the rest of the leaderboard shakes out.
It's so incredibly close. This is why those squad points matter so much, right? 2 squad points separating Dark Entities and Genius at the top of the leaderboard with 1 brick each. Team still looking for their first brick are going to be Alliance, FLC, Gotaga, and WLG. WLG is going to need a brick and a bit more if they want to contend with those squad points of DE and Genius. But still anyone's game. WLG could go back-to-back in rounds 5 and 6, and next thing you know, they are your EMEA champs.
That's right. Anything could happen, though. Anything could happen. Like Tiff was saying, could see somebody flip the script. You could see one of these top 2 teams close it out. Max will play as 7 rounds. And at minimum, this is the last one. Space City we go. Half the teams used a Tempest in round 4. The other half did not. So we have, here it is, CWLG, Alliance. Those are the 2 teams that have yet to use a Tempest. They will use the Tempest into both of these next 2 rounds. For all of the other 4 teams, the biggest question in my mind is, do you use it here or do you use it in the next round? Do you risk waiting 1 more round with the chance of a team closing it out here?
Nah, you run it. You absolutely run those operators. That if it's your last one here, you expend it unless you had a tier 1 spawn last time and you are not confident with where you're going to start things off, because if you used your golds, mind you only get so many times that you can purchase a gold, and FLC Clan came in with Westgate tier 1 spawn and solid gold last time, so not going to be able to have that as well as Genius. So really tough moments for them. Dark Entities, the fact that they get Dormitory a tier 3 spawn and net themselves a brick in round 4, that is the best way to maximize your chances. And that just goes to show you them. They were playing Black Chamber to the fullest.
Well, also, if I could just draw an arrow, they literally almost circumnavigated the entirety of Space City. They went from Dormitory, they wrapped all the way through the north and all the way around. So it was pretty wild, from Printing Room all the way down to Bridge, all the way up from the south side of Black Chamber. So just because you have a bad spawn doesn't mean you can't get the brick. All right. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for maybe the last map. And I'll say that a couple more times, potentially, if things don't go the way of Genius or Dark Entities. Dark Entities, the top-seeded team in this competition. They win the group stages. Could they also win the finals and be top dogs throughout the course of every single round? Let's take a look. Looking at spawns, Team Gotaga way up here in Dormitory. Let's see if anybody gets caught in transition out of those high-value spawns. Dark Entities get Central Command. They're going to be rushing Bridge. WLG sprinting over Employee Passage 2. And Alliance sprinting through Westgate. Those are going to be the first 3 as Genius go down from Assembly Room all the way wrapping towards Bridge.
Alrighty, well, there you have it. Alliance on the move. Alliance bringing in golds, bringing in Tempest, and are basically focused on getting this brick. For Dark Entities and Genius being in win condition, both not running Tempest. You do have a Viren in play for Genius. I love that energy out of them. You could find a lot of mobility and aggression with that. Everyone else, though, they understand the objectives and what's at stake. Now, how many times have we seen Alliance play high ground over that brick? And if someone jumps on it first, they will immediately put the pressure on them. But here's the deal. Dark Entities and Alliance are so close to one another. They're just keeping tabs with Genius on the outside.
Yeah, that's actually a really good read from Dark Entities to get to that position first. It forced Alliance to go low. I really like this play from Dark Entities and Genius. I think some people might be thinking, well, just go for it. Go for the win. Use Tempest now. Problem, if they do that, they may not have it for the next round, right? We talked about you can only use Tempest each time. And if somebody else gets the brick this round and there's 3 teams with the brick going into the next round and you don't have a Tempest for that round, there's a chance you're not a top 2 team. You can still get 3rd. But there's a lot of money on the line and it scales down per place. So it's better to be safe than sorry. I think waiting to use a Tempest is the right call, and they could still win it without Tempest. It's just a value add that we don't need to highlight anymore because you all know it, but it is pretty important to remember. So the rest of these teams investing everything because they can't risk not getting a brick. Alliance all gold, Tempest in hand. Let's see who gets out better for it, as this time no one off rip grabbing brick. It'll be a bit of a stalemate as everybody look in that direction.
Righty, it's gonna get mixy here. Now, I will say, as we enter our first 3 minutes of round 5 on Space City, the brick immediately picked up by the team in last place on the leaderboard, WLG. Like we said, moving into this, so what if they're last place in squad points? It doesn't matter. If they go back to back with bricks, they would be the champions. And what they're doing is putting fate into their own hands by immediately grabbing it, running to Black Chamber and saying, this is where we want to fight.
Well, it's a great call from them. They got some intel to know that if they basically left this position, they're getting killed. So this is the only safe Dakota station they could have gone to. Couldn't go south. They run into Genius. Couldn't go north. They run into FLC. Couldn't go west. They run into DE and Alliance. Like, there's really nowhere else to go besides here. Back indoors for a chance for WLG to flip the script of this leaderboard and join the other two teams at the top. But this is kind of good news, I would say, for Dark Entities and Genius as well. Being a team without a Tempest, it seems a bit counterintuitive because so many steals happen at Black Chamber. But Tempest is really valuable for covering wide open spaces because you can take more risk. This hallway, we've seen so many steals happen, not off Tempest ult, but off of just clearing some real estate, peeking that hallway, covering fire, smoking it, and stealing it. So I actually like Black Chamber for the top two teams to potentially close it out here.
I hate when I see people in the water. I know these are good rotations, but these sharks can be so messy.
Yeah,
they're always just trying to get involved. It's like the random Twitter trolls or whatever you have. They just like to get involved, okay?
If you all watched yesterday's competitions, specifically EMEA, you know that, sharks were a problem. Not gonna lie.
Definitely a little rude, but that's okay. So far, so good for FLC, except for the fact that Genius is scouting. But don't resurface in front of them like a breaching whale. Just keep on moving, because Chins is definitely scouting.
Hopefully you're actually amphibious, not a mammal. You don't need air, right? You don't need to pop up.
You want to look to the right a little? Want to look to the right a little? No?
Oh, that is crazy timing. Actually insane. Like FOV two clicks higher, and I think they see him getting out of the water. That was wild. I haven't seen anything like that from first-person POV in a while. So FLC, nice rotation, able to sneak their way out of it. But of course, eyes back on the brick. It's already been 2 minutes.
Can't believe that 2 minutes has been expended here already, and now starting to set your sights maybe at recovering at Black Chamber. Usually 1 minute 30 is where teams start to rotate, and 40 to 30 seconds is where teams really want to chow for the decode. The defense needs to be expansive.
WLG wanted this fight indoors, or mainly there's a chance they just couldn't go anywhere else. Now everybody else have to decide what to do with it. Everybody's slow on the draw. FLC and Team Gotaga now in an interaction off brick. This fight out here is going to hold FLC from being able to play for this brick at all. They're giving this brick away. FLC, there's no way they're going to go play for the brick. They're rotating north. They're nowhere around. Completely out of the equation. The only teams now playing for the brick is going to be WLG, of course, who's currently decoding it. 45 seconds on the clock. And Alliance. Only team pressuring them.
They're straight running in. You've got Selen giving the comms to the team like, hey, guys, we've got content. They are full sending straight into here. But Grind with a jump peek into the stairs. And instead, it's Selen who drops down between half HP immediately. And look who wants to close the gap. Grind still on the hunt. Down the stairs we go. Tempest ult even being expended, and Easy falls.
Nice trade there from Grind. Scooby is full cleaned up. But Alliance down on Tempest ult. It's going to get back up here from the self-revive. Genius is here and the party finally. 10 seconds, though. Is everybody just too late? Dark Entities is here as well. But is it too late? Can they stay alive?
Grind?
Can they even get the steal?
Grind?
Alliance going to stick it. Nobody's there to save it. Barely coming in at the perfect time and a trading of blows across left, right, and center. WLG, they were 5 seconds away from getting the brick, and now they're in the lobby with nothing to show for it. Indoors we go. DE lose 1. 2 players for DE and everybody else with 3 as our ulting Tempest is back on their feet and Alliance back in control.
Going to be a big one for Alliance based off the fact that they extracted earlier on. And you just have to think about how they were able to get with 10 mil out. So their squad points exceptionally high. You throw a Mandel brick at them now in this round, it is a game changer for the leaderboard. Dark Entities, it would be really nice if we could recover Uzbishka. But for now, he's down, he's fooled, and everyone else back on the clock.
Okay. With this in mind, Team Gotaga is still holding FLC, who do have 1 bullet in an M82 and looking to connect. But because this fight's happening over at Assembly Room, finally they're splitting. Team Gotaga going north and get across via employee passengers. This allows FLC to play the game again. So FLC is going to come get involved, rotating back down south, and they're going to have to go through Genius's chins. But I've got to assume that Genius will rotate back over to Brick if his timer gets low. And Easy's popping out to try to get some intel. They're trying to eat up more real estate, cover more ground in and around the Brick, so that any pushes come a little bit too late.
Right.
Oh, nice spot. This is huge. If he spots these FLC players, which he should right now, I think he just saw him. Yep,
There
got
it
him.
is.
Nice pick up there. It's going to know that Chins is about to get pushed by a full team of 3.
Well, good luck, Chins. You better hold. Still a minute 30 on the decode for Alliance. Dark Entities, a duo, but they could make it work if they need to. Someone's going to have to do something about it, FLC. They've got a Tempest. You know they wanted to play for the Brick, but they're just getting ran out. That thing. 3 bullets. Ready. He's not moving.
70 seconds and counting. Alliance still in complete control. Chins alone is probably going to rotate over to his teammates. You can see him on rotation through X-Ray. Back into Black Chamber to go play for the Brick with his team. Genius come in and they strike first. Down goes Lynx. Tries to smoke to keep him up. Not going to happen. Going to jump grab body, put him on stairs, and maybe go for the res here. Probably risk giving away the Brick to try to get their teammate back up. They've got to play as a team of 3. So this is Genius's chance. Let's go get the steal. Let's reset the clock. Dark Entities maybe in an engagement actually with Team Gotaga on the other side. So Genius are going to jump Brick. A disarm coming through to try to stop him is a little bit off center. No! Perfect spot. If they were able to swing on this, it could stop them. But it's just waylaying them for just a second longer. There goes the Brick. 3 minutes on the clock for Genius. Nice control, and I think the right play if you're Alliance to get all 3 back up on your feet and give it away, because you can always go back and steal it again. Immediately.
Yeah, Grind's like, okay, fine, bet. I'm taking it. Still back up to a team of 3. Brilliant. Everyone, a team of 3 on the map aside from Dark Entities. That timer is ticked down. Not going to be able to recover our fallen teammate or Genius. The last push didn't really amount to much because they were able to get them back up and retake the Mandel Brick. 7.5 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time for this to keep changing hands.
Plenty of time. A chance for Genius to win right here. Alliance in control of the Brick. Genius have already put 1 member of Alliance down to yellow. They can find Lynx again. Will not be able to get picked back up. FLC have been getting their steps in. I mean, golly. The rotate of death. They went all the way down to Eastern Suspension. Didn't like the bridge play, so they wrapped all the way back to Central Command and are coming from the north.
All right. Well, I mean, the time is ticking down, so you got to make that presence known eventually. And if you're still on Central Command Bridge, it's going to take you another 30 to 45 seconds if you're moving without care to get down to the Black Chamber. And Dark Entities from above behind bulletproof glass is going to be sighting FLC and relaying that information to the team.
TE don't have Uzbishka, a heavy hitter. 60 seconds on the clock for the Brick. Intel is nice, but Team Gotaga going to come make a play for the Brick now. Ulting Maxa. Going to try to bait out some util. Grind going to throw some shots down, but feeling pressure from both sides. Knowing Genius is on the rotate in. Going to allow this to pop. Don't want to give away the farm before it's done. The lease is still out. Got to close the deal. And to do that, sometimes it's got to exchange hands a couple times. Alliance They're going to allow the steal to happen and look to immediate retake it as Team Gotaga back off into safety. This is the nature of this hallway. This is the nature of Black Chamber. With util landing, could be an opening, but Alliance still waiting patiently. Still plenty of time.
There it is with the move. And now there it is. Alliance back on the
FLC.
timer. Let's see what they can do.
Team Gotaga in trouble. FLC finding the angles down to a solo. Here comes Genius, full team of 3. Team Gotaga in the worst spot. DE still with 2, waiting patiently for their turn. FLC want to take matters into their own hands. They're going to get barrel stuff. Team Gotaga goes down. So unfortunate. They get the steal, and then FLC follow up. Finally, they rotated south. They rotated north. They got all their steps in, but they showed up at the perfect time. Unbelievable. Team Gotaga goes down. A 3v3v3 v2.
Still 2 teams in it that can end the tournament here in round 5. And FLC and Alliance looking for their first brick. Alliance 34 seconds away from the decode. And with so many teams here wanting to get Nixie, it is going to be an all-out brawl around the brick.
Folks, this is it. Alliance a chance to grab brick and go to the top of the leaderboard. Alliance with a disarm ready from up above. If they wait too long, this disarm could save the day. FLC are on it. FLC are pushing. Alliance is finding angles. 7 seconds. Kilo goes down. Easy follows. FLC. Somebody's got to jump it. Will Alliance get it? They go for the jump. They get barrel stuff.
It's frozen.
They're there. FLC get the freeze. FLC get the steal. We're still playing the game. We're trying to get everything we can. FLC fall. They may have saved the day, but it may just prop up one of these 2 teams that still have a mantle brick and still have players on the map to close out the win. FLC might have just given away the match.
And here's the deal. Alliance is down to a solo. And as I say that, FLC full sends. Alliance is wiped. FLC wiped. And Dark Entities and Genius are the only ones left on the map. Genius back up to a duo. They can get to a team of 3, but the time is now. Who wants the steal? It's Dark Entities. They've been patient. They're ready to go. And Chins is down.
Holy cow. Dark Entities have done it. They waited patiently in the wings. They showed up last to the fight twice in a row, and they find themselves last standing. Dark Entities are your champions of the EMEA Finals. Let's listen into the celebrations or the disbelief.
Давай. Голову заряди.
Зарядил.
Не вижу никого.
Тихо. У тебя чел просто вся смог. Давай и ко мне выходи.
They don't know they're the last team.
Yeah. I mean, you can't take anything for granted. Do they think probably? Yes. Do they think for certain? There's no way of knowing. It wasn't even disbelief. It was just laser focused, locked in. But they are your champions. They have done it. And I want to pull up their comms again in about 30 seconds when this brick lands at their doorstep and they finish the job. Because Dark Entities are your champions.
But the look-in that we got with Uzbishka during that listen-in, he's just hands and face, just stressed because he was down, he was out from initial pushes looking to take this. We're expending resources during the final 10 seconds. And look at the boys.
Я кофе нахуй пролил.
Celebration, there it is. There's nothing left for them to do. They win group stages. They find their way to the finals. They watch all of their opponents scrap for the pieces left, the slots left in the finals. And once everybody shows up, certainly trials and tribulations, certainly tough maps. But they show up last. They play patient. They lose a player and they wait in the wings for the chaos to ensue. And they strike perfectly timed in the final hour to grab their second brick. Dark Entities will be your champions of Season 1 Delta Force Rise Series for the EMEA region. And not only your champions, but you will see them again in Season 2 in only a couple weeks' time. They have earned their slot to the finals, as has Geniuses. And the rest will double-check the math, but unbelievable job from the gentlemen. These guys have played on land before. They stuck with their team. Full Array competing with them this time. Their third teammate, the teammate that they had to ditch as Full Array joins the party, is already over in China playing with a totally different org. But this duo used Bishka, Flarich, and now Full Array back together again, have done it. Unbelievable story. Fantastic job from these guys.
Smiles all around. $60,000 for the team. And you see it, the best team in round 5 on Space City, none other than Dark Entities, 4KP and a brick. It doesn't matter that his Bishka goes down early. Flarich and Full Array clutch up to net themselves a win. We said champions emerge on Space City, and that they do.
I think Bishka falling there, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I think Bishka falling there actually was a good thing for them. They didn't know the map would play out the way it did, but because it was the finals and everybody wanted a piece of the pie and everybody wanted a chance to stay alive in this tourney, everybody was playing for the brick. With Bishka down, Dark Entities had to slow down. They had to slow down and back way up. They were only a duo, so they waited patiently for their turn. And because they did, they come in at the perfect moment and clean house, clean everybody up, and take the brick. 4 kills go their way. Alliance pick up 6 throughout that chaos, and that likely jumps them up to 3rd place. What a great day for Alliance. Great luck as well. Unbelievable Reds. We'll wait on the final map to just be sure of it. Flarich finds his way to top Slayer on the round as well. 4 total just from him alone. But an unreal job from Alliance as well to pick up great numbers in what we now know is the final map.
I can't believe that was the final map and all of the damage done. Alliance holding as steadfast as they could for the decode, putting up such insane numbers, but could not net themselves a brick. And Full Array going pretty massive in terms of getting those assists and holding Flarich's back and making sure that those kills were definitely to come through. Genius as well, Alliance in the mix. But when it comes to assets, a lot of Alliance. Dark Entities' Bishka had some niceness into the safe box to get in there.
Crazy stuff to look back on. And will the supply points, part of our squad points, be the difference in some of the tiebreakers? We'll see. Dark Entities Flarich is our round 5 MVP, and of course, after a win, it's well earned. Could be zeros there, and they got the brick, so that means they are going to be your MVP. Unbelievable job from them. While we wait on a couple things here in the booth, we are going to reward you just for being here to watch the finals. Type in ! giveaway. This is your chance to earn 3,000 Delta tickets. If you're watching on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, simply type in ! giveaway in chat to enter. And if you're watching on X, you can just repost the live stream. We're going to announce the winners in the chat on those main platforms. And if you're watching on X, we'll announce it under the live stream in the comments. Good luck out there. Hopefully you are also a winner like Dark Entities. Only 3,000 Delta tickets. I mean, that's frankly a lot, but nothing in comparison to what Dark Entities just earned. My goodness, $60,000 at the top. And Tiff, I guess we take this moment as well to congratulate Genius. They got a brick, and like I said, if you get a brick today, the chances of you being top 3 are very likely. And today, it meant that you got second.
And of course, and if you're inside that top 3, you are going to be advancing on to the Season 2 of the Delta Force Rise series. So more things to be had. Once we get that leaderboard, we'll figure out who's going to be that 3rd place that's going to be advancing on. And our Season 1 champions, there you have it, Dark Entities. They put in the work, and it paid out tenfold.
Unbelievable or believable. Totally up to you. The scriptwriters say that the top dogs will stay the top dogs. Flarich, Full Array, use Bishka, the main core, with Juggernaut staying in the side wings as the sub. And big shout out to Ko as well as coach and support for this roster. I've seen these guys compete on land before. They are deadly, and they can do it online as well. Great job from Dark Entities, and well earned. They've been fighting in operations, in Delta Force events, in show matches, in preparation for this Delta Force Rise series. And all of that prep, all of that hard work has paid off today. one more big congratulations to them. And Bolare is going to be your match MVP. He finds his way to nearly 6 million in total assets, a couple kills, plenty of assists, solid damage. This was really a great team effort from the entire roster. So to pick one match MVP here, Full Array just highlights one individual player amongst the 3 that were able to compete this entire match and put up all of them great stats. All had their moments in the spotlight and all earned this.
Team effort to stand at the top. But your final leaderboard of the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1 EMEA. It's official, y'all. Dark Entities at the top, of course. Genius with the Mandel Brick to grab second. And Alliance from a heroic effort. A massive extract back on Tide Prison. Plenty of reds. You said it, hot hands. Those 26 squad points keep them with that auto advancement to Season 2. FLC, Gotaga, and WLG will round out the leaderboard. That's a lot of money to be had.
Yeah, I mean, making it to the stage ensures that even like WLG, who just really didn't have a great day, they still walk away with 10 grand. Can't be too mad about that. But of course, like Tiff said, Alliance, frankly, it pays to be skillful in Delta Force Rise Series. Apparently, it also pays to be a little bit lucky. They do pick up 15 kill points, which is more than FLC and Team Gotaga, but they picked up a whole lot more supply points as well. A lot of reds pulled today by Alliance, and that ensured that they are ahead of the rest of the competition, and they get that last spot straight to the Season 2 Delta Force Rise Series. Really excited to see Alliance back at it. They've got a great support system, but Genius and Dark Entities took today by the horns, got their bricks, and therefore also earned their slot. What a fun day to wrap up the EMEA region here in Season 1.
We didn't even talk our predictions coming into the finals. And usually, Goj, we always do that before the first game. And it is crazy that we didn't throw those out into the wild. Just know that if you're going to go on top in the group stage, little copy paste for the finals leaderboard, they didn't even play through the survivor stage. They got to sit back and watch all that chaos happen throughout the weekend. They come in on final Sunday and they close it out in 5.
Yeah, I mean, if you would have asked me my prediction, you don't have to believe me, but I will tell you the truth. I was going to say Dark Entities.
Sure.
You look back on stats. Yes, they win group stages. They outfrag by 10 kills WLG, who got second, who actually had the second most frags as well. So they outfragged by 10 anybody else. They put up 25 points more than anybody else. They were a fantastic team. They tied for the most mantle bricks throughout the course of the group stage. It's like, this is the best team on paper, and they proved that sometimes paper does pay. And a great job here from Dark Entities to pick up $60,000. But that one mantle brick round means that Genius is going to be walking away with $30,000. That's 10 bands apiece if you're paying the players only. Alliance find their way to third, 15 grand, and that slot in Season 2 Delta Force Rise Series. And then 4th, 5th, and 6th, all picking up still $10,000 for making it to the final stage. Big congratulations to all of our teams, all 12 that made it through Season 1, regardless of where you landed, still made some money. And that's more than a lot of other folks can say. And of course, you can also say that you were a part of Season 1. Tiff, what a fun moment.
Honestly, it's super exciting. I had no idea this was going to go, but we have to realize, I'm sure there's some people we got to talk to, Goj.
Let's bring in Dark Entities. I'm getting word we got the whole team here to celebrate the win. Oh, friends of mine, see these guys a ton. Excited to see them here on camera. Let's bring in Dark Entities and see what they have to say about their championship win. There they are, the gentlemen. Congratulations. Dark Entities, the champions. It's good to see you all again. Flarich, I want to go to you first. How are you feeling? You did it. You are the champions.
I know. I can't believe that we win the last game when we was 2 only. Yudishka was dead, but still we made somehow it. But yeah, I was just a bit crying after the winning, and yeah, feel crazy. I don't know.
Amazing, man. I'm proud of you guys. It's good to see you all. Yuzbishko, want to go to you with a quick follow-up. This team in particular, you've played all 3 together quite a bit. You have a ton of chemistry. What makes your roster better than everybody else? Why has this worked since you've played so long together?
I mean, I think we have a couple of reasons for that. I think the first one is like we do not only play scrims just to play. We also like analyze our mistakes, try to adapt to other teams, watch their POIs, and yeah, we make strategies according to that, and yeah, that's how we won. And of course, we worked very hard for that.
I love it. Honestly, guys, and whoever wants to take this, have at it. But once y'all won the group stages, the target was already on your backs coming into finals. Did it change the way you approached competing today, knowing that every team pretty much had their eyes on you?
I think, yeah, we were kind of like, I can speak for myself. I was kind of stressed in the first game, but I was thinking like this is another scrim that we are playing. So yeah, we played slowly, confident, and didn't think this as a finals at all.
And
we just played our game.
Yeah, I want to say that yeah, I know that every team watched us how we played, but still we didn't show the half of strategies of what we have. So we have some secrets. So see you next season.
You still have some secrets for season 2. You're holding on to something, man. That's crazy. Fullere, I want to hear from you. What was it like rejoining this team, Flerich and Uzbishka? You all played together before. What was it like to rejoin them for season 1 here and win it all?
Каково тебе было присоединиться назад к команде и вот я честно пропустил. Can you repeat again?
Yeah.
I mean, he doesn't speak well English.
Yeah.
But...
Well, you guys can answer for him if you'd like, or he can answer and you can translate for me. I've known all three of you for a while, and Flerich and Uzbishka, you guys have played together before in some of the Delta Force Global Leagues and otherwise, and you bring Fullere back onto the roster because you guys have had some different teammates, right? Some of which are now playing in China under a different organization. So what was it like to bring Fullere back onto this team and perform as a trio?
I think it was the best decision that we had. Fullere, you can ask. Отвечай на русском.
Мы играли... Сейчас мне занят. Мы, получается, играли все время вместе с Вадимом. Потом случился DFI. Ребята квалились. Фларыч, Пророк и Киси. Я не смог поехать, потому что мне было 17 лет. Я отдал свой слот Киси, и после DFI мы просто посидели, подумали и решили вернуться обратно к истокам. И я очень рад присоединиться к пацанам обратно. Вы лучшие, ребят. Спасибо вам большое. Спасибо за эмоции.
So basically what Fullere told us is that he was one of the first members of Fallen back then when they played the qualifiers for China. But since he was 17 years old, he gave up his slot to HR. And yeah, after the DFI, he joined us. And he's proud.
Микрофон ведь.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Нормально.
Yeah,
I love it.
Listen, we got most of those pieces. For those at home that don't know, yes, HR ended up playing on this team, the same roster. He then joins a new organization in China. So Fullere rejoins now that he's 18.
Yes.
Really cool storyline from you guys. It's good to have you all back together again, and of course as the champions.
Heck yeah. All right, guys, I got one more question. I'll kick it over to Flerich. Now that you guys have set the standard for EMEA's region in Season 1, what does Dark Entities need to do that makes sure this isn't the only championship season you guys experience, but the beginning of something much more?
Yeah, it's only our first step because the main goal for us as a team, we want to go with our team to the China and probably this year to try to win it. So we have more experience than last year. So probably the main goal is to go to China and win it.
All right. Want to go to LAN and win it all, folks. There you have it, Dark Entities. Congratulations again. One more time, I want to give you the floor. Feel free to speak in native languages if you want. Any final words for the broadcast as the champions of the EMEA region, Season 1 of the Delta Force Rise series. Uzbishka, Flerich, Fullere, any final words? You can go in order. Talk me through it. Anything you want to say to fans, haters, whatever it takes, the floor is yours.
Well, I want to say that... Okay, Flerich can start.
No, fully right на старт.
Я хочу сказать спасибо всем своим друзьям, которые стебались надо мной, думали, что я нихуя не выиграю, но в итоге я выиграл. Всем привет.
Okay, thanks the fans that are not only Russian speaking. Thanks the fans who speak in English and another language. Thanks for cheering us. Yeah, we made our job, and I believe that the next season we will do the same. So to win the title is not as hard as to save it. So let's see what we will do next season.
Yeah, I want to say thank you to everyone who supported us, cheered us, watched us how we play, and told us warm words. And yeah, thank you so much.
Cheers. We love some Humble Kings. Congratulations, gentlemen, and go celebrate. You just won $60,000, and it sounds like you've got more in the tank, more strategies. We'll see you out there. Congrats again. All right, that was Dark Entities. What a great interview from all of them, and really appreciate them helping us out as well here in the booth by speaking English, but that was a lot of fun.
It truly was. Once again, y'all, the final leaderboard is as follows. They took the championship here on Season 1 with 25 squad points, double Mandel bricks. Genius to round out top 2 there with a Mandel brick of their own. Honestly, Alliance getting in the top 3, if they would have been able to grab the brick with that many squad points, it would have really been an interesting series. But Dark Entities treated us to a win in round 5.
Yeah, that was a blast, and I think looking back on the prize pool again, you have to remind yourself and pinch yourself if you're Dark Entities. You just won 60 grand. I mean, Genius picked up 30 bands by picking up that mana brick, and then Alliance sneaking in and grabbing that 3rd place finish with a little bit of luck and a lot of skill, find their way to $15,000. So a great job there from the top 3, but of course, congrats to all of our teams. You made it to the Delta Force Rise Series, you made it through Season 1, and you made some cash while doing it. And we got more, not in EMEA, not in Season 1, but Season 2. This is it. Everything grayed out. All of your winners. Everybody has earned $50 kill bonuses here and there. And our final prize money has been passed around. Unbelievable that we have finally wrapped up our 5-week series. What a finish to an unbelievable first season of the Delta Force Rise series. Tiff, it was a blast to be able to do this with you. Any final words for the broadcast? Crushed it today.
Congratulations to everyone who threw down and played in our finals, and especially the teams in the group stages that were grinding it out. Season 2 will be here before you know it, so I want to see y'all run it back. And if you guys are still addicted to Delta Force in the chat, guess what, guys? Job's not done. We got America's later.
That's right. Job's not done. Great cast from Tiff, and it was a lot of fun to watch from myself as well. So thank you for having us. And folks, as a reminder, we couldn't do it without you, the viewer. Thanks for the watch parties. Thanks for all the viewers in chat. Thanks for everybody being active, and hopefully you earn some rewards. But guess what? America's right around the corner in a couple hours time. Drop a follow on all major socials, and we'll see you out there for the Delta Force Rise Series Season 1 finale of America's in just a couple hours.